esos equipos que están en nuestra liga, el Celta de Vigo, que hoy hay que sumar esos 3 puntos importantes, ya que el Mallorca tiene un inicio complicado y difícil. Ahí vemos a Don Prats y Pablo Torre, uno de los protagonistas, a Don Prats, que esta semana habéis visto como, si habéis seguido en las redes sociales, se le ha pintado un mural aquí justo en Somos. Es una leyenda viva, es una leyenda presente del mallorquinismo, Abdón Prats, y así se lo agradece el Mallorca. Estamos aquí preparados, bienvenidos, un servidor, Lorenzo, y a mi izquierda, como siempre, mi compañero que está ahí, que no falla ni un partido, el hombre de las cuentas, el hombre de la tablet, es Sandro. Sandro, bienvenido, muy buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás?
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estamos?
Muy bien. Bueno, partido importante, partido podríamos decir de nuestra liga, ya que el último partido de la jornada 1 fue ante todo un Fútbol Club Barcelona. Es difícil, es complicado, como dijo Yago Barrasate, no es imposible sacar puntos delante unos rivales como estos, pero hoy sí que se ajusta más a nuestro deber y hoy sí que el Mallorca tiene que ir a buscar esos 3 puntos.
Sí, a ver, tienes que jugar contra todos, al final contra el Barcelona hasta el minuto 20 y la situación que no hace falta recordar, el Mallorca estuvo dentro del partido y tuvo sus ocasiones. Eso incluso es. Contra el Barcelona. Contra el Celta es verdad, y lo recordaba Yagoba, ¿no? El año pasado perdiste los 2 partidos y te quedaste la clasificación muy cerca, pero el Celta también es verdad que este año va a tener una dificultad añadida al tener que jugar 3 partidos, al tener que jugar partidos de Europa, y eso también hará que al final la fatiga de los jugadores, la cabeza no siempre pueda estar presente en la liga, y eso es lo que tiene que intentar aprovechar el Mallorca, ese factor de casa. Además, yo creo que el Celta se llevó un golpe muy fuerte la semana pasada, perdiendo en su casa 0-2 contra el Getafe, un Getafe aparte que iba con ciertas bajas. Entonces, a ver si el Mallorca puede hurgar un poco en esa herida y que el Celta esté pensando ya en Europa y el Mallorca puede llevarse esos primeros 3 puntos desde casa.
Partido donde también, como acaba de comentar nuestro compañero Sandro, el Celta viene de perder ante el Getafe por un marcador de 0-2. Perder en casa, por lo tanto, hoy a ver si podemos hurgar en esa herida. Como decía un poco Yago Barrasate en la rueda de prensa, hay que aislarse un poco de todo el ruido de fuera, el tema de fichajes, la derrota ante el Barça. Hay que resetear y hay que empezar a ponerse a punto para este partido. Vamos a conectar rápidamente con nuestro compañero Damián, que está ahí en el pie de campo ya preparado. No sé si va vestido de corto, si cómo va, no sé si está preparado también para salir a rematar algún balón. Damián, muy buenas tardes y bienvenido.
¿Qué tal, Sandro? Un saludo desde este pie de campo del Estadio Mallorca Somos, donde el Real Club Deportivo Mallorca buscará su primera victoria de la temporada, segundo partido consecutivo frente a los nuestros, segundo partido consecutivo frente a nuestra afición, que como lo hizo frente al FC Barcelona, pese a no conseguir la victoria, hoy tendrá que ser de nuevo ese jugador número 12 que nos empuje a los futbolistas de Yago Barrasate a esos ansiados primeros 3 puntos del curso 25-26. Para eso el Mallorca, que sale con un 11 bastante idéntico al que puso frente al FC Barcelona, ya que repite la mayoría de los futbolistas, únicamente 2 sustituciones y obligadas. Vamos a repasarlo porque el Mallorca sale con Leo Román en portería, línea de 4 para Antonio Raillo y Martín Ballén como pareja de centrales, laterales para Johan Mujica y Mateu Jaume, doble pivote. Aquí empieza la primera novedad. Entra Omar Mascarell por el sancionado Manu Morlanes. Estará acompañado el canario por Antonio Sánchez. Media punta para Pablo Torre. Bandas para Seri Darder y Takuma Sano. Y arriba la otra novedad. Debuta como titular Mateo Joseph, sustituyendo a un Murici que, al igual que Manu Morlanes, se pierde el partido de hoy por sanción. Un Mallorca que ha presentado una convocatoria de 23 futbolistas en la que ha debutado nuestro último fichaje, Maras Kumbula. Veremos si cuenta hoy con sus primeros minutos como mallorquinista. El resto de las ausencias, además de Manu Morlanes y Vedat Murici, son Samu Costa, Pablo Maffeo y Kyle Anin. Así que este es el 11 con el que sale hoy el Real Club Deportivo Mallorca para intentar sumar su primera victoria del curso.
Ahí está, pues ahí está el 11 titular con el que va a salir hoy en esta jornada 2 el Mallorca. Yago Barrasate apuesta para estos protagonistas. Había la duda, ¿no? Si defensa de 3, defensa de 4, ¿quién cubriría esa zona donde habitualmente está el pirata Vedat Murici? Pues ya tenemos ese 11 titular. Sandro, ¿qué te parece?
Para mí es un 11 bastante lógico, bastante reconocible, y yo creo que quiere dar continuidad a todo lo que le iba funcionando, sobre todo también ese partido del Hamburgo. Evidentemente cambios forzados, no te queda más remedio con las sanciones,
expulsó a Manu Morlanes y a Vedas Muriqui. Yo creo que sale un 11 bastante competitivo, ¿no? Podemos ver cómo Mateu Josep ahí estará como hombre de referencia arriba, Omar Mascarell, que tal vez tendrá un trabajo más de salida de balón desde atrás, no sé qué te parece.
Sí, al final Omar le puede dar esa salida, pero también le puede dar más equilibrio defensivo. Recordemos que el Celta es uno de los equipos que más alto apretan y que mejor atacan. En ese sentido, va a coger muchos conceptos del Barcelona. Lo mismo, el Barcelona es un equipo que aprieta siempre alto. El Celta también es un equipo que tiene tendencia a apretar alto y la línea defensiva también está adelantada. Entonces yo creo que en eso Omar te va a dar cierto equilibrio y Mateo nos puede dar algo que, a diferencia de Morici, a lo mejor no será tanto para el juego de espaldas, pero sí nos puede dar una ruptura sin más balones a espalda de lo que pudiera dar, que ya lo vimos en algunos momentos contra el Barça a una inferioridad, pues a ver si ahora lo podemos aprovechar.
Nos gusta el 11 con el que sale Yago Barrasate cuando acaban de salir dos de los protagonistas bermellones, el Leo Román y el otro, el segundo guardameta, Bergstrom, que ahí están en el terreno de juego. Y cuando son las 4 ahora mismo y 8, vamos a conectar en los aledaños de Somos, porque ahí hay otra protagonista, nuestra compañera Yuk Barnin. No sé si podemos conectar con ella, porque seguramente estará con protagonistas. ¿Cuál es el ambiente que hay ahí afuera en los aledaños, Yuk?
Hola Llorenç, doncs aquí hi ha molt d'ambients, la veritat, que no m'esperava, en aquestes hores no m'esperava tanta de gent. I a més, la temperatura està acompanyant bastant, així que ara estem aquí amb un aficionat, amb un mallorquinista. Home, li has pogut pegar una ullada a l'alineació?
Sí que l'he vist, però me fa pena que el Canat 2 no sortia de titular i sortia del banquet.
Bé, però era una cosa que se podria esperar. Què penses de la primera titularitat, a veure si me sortirà, d'en Mateu Josep?
El fet que me doni molts minuts i molts gols i que ajudi l'equip a poder obtenir aquests 3 punts amb el Celta i en tota la temporada que me queda.
Claro, sí. Lo més important és que vagi bé durant tota la temporada. Saps quin és el darrer partit que han guanyat contra el Celta aquí a l'estadi de Sant Moix?
Buah, ara mateix ni me'n record, però crec que va ser, no sé si va ser la temporada passada.
L'anterior, 2023. Però bueno, esperem que aquesta ratxa acabi, o no?
Jo espero que sí.
I de moment, si es vera, pues tornem la connexió, compañeros.
Gràcies, Lluc. Una abraçada. Tornem a connectar amb tu d'aquí res. Y como ve, Yuk estaba comentando con este aficionado, la noticia es esta, ¿no? Que la última vez que se ganó al Celta fue la temporada 23-24, un 16 de septiembre. Se le gana 0-1 al Celta aquí en Somos. En el minuto 85 marcó, perdón, eso es la temporada pasada. Aquí no se gana al Celta, rectifico, desde la temporada 22-23, un 20 de enero, que el Mallorca gana 1-0 con el gol de Dani Rodríguez. Había hablado, ¿no?, de la última vez que se le ganó al Celta, que no hace tanto. Bueno, dicho esto, vamos a conectar, ahora vamos a escuchar al técnico Yago Barrasate, cuáles son sus declaraciones con apenas, a falta de nada, menos de una hora para que arranque el partido.
Sí, pues ya estamos como protagonistas, ya estamos con el míster. ¿Qué tal, Yagoba? Muy buenas.
Hola, buenas.
¿Cómo está el equipo, sobre todo a nivel físico, por las alturas de temporada que nos encontramos y por el desgaste del pasado sábado?
Sí, bueno, creo que ha sido una buena semana de entrenamientos y sobre todo estamos con muchas ganas, ¿no? El partido del sábado nos dejó como una sensación de querer volver a jugar con nuestra gente y esta vez tener un resultado positivo. Bueno, vamos a intentarlo.
¿Qué partido prevés?
Bueno, difícil contra un rival que ya el año pasado nos ganó los 2 partidos, un rival que es valiente, que va por las cosas y bueno, en ese intercambio de golpes a ver si nosotros también podemos hacerles daño.
¿Cómo interpretas el 11 del Celta, que presenta pues algunas novedades, algunos cambios respecto a esa primera jornada contra el Getafe?
Sí, bueno, Claudio es un entrenador que cambia mucho de una semana a otra. Yo creo que tiene gente muy versátil, muy dinámica, puede cambiar y jugar un poco a lo mismo y bueno, él entenderá por qué hace esos cambios. Nosotros hacemos 2 cambios obligados también y bueno, a ver si hacemos un buen partido porque por mucho que ellos han hecho cambios, tendremos que hacer las cosas bien para ganar.
Eso te iba a preguntar por nuestros cambios en el 11, sobre todo centrando en la figura de Mateu Josep. Debuta como titular en otras circunstancias que frente al Fútbol Club Barcelona. ¿Qué nos puede aportar en el día de hoy?
Bueno, pues ha venido para darnos un poco esa frescura, esa profundidad al ataque, con ese hambre que tiene también y bueno, luego pues bueno, como es delantero, pues bueno, si hace un gol mejor para nosotros, ¿no? Pero bueno, tenemos mucha esperanza puesta en él, creo que ya lleva tiempo entrenando con nosotros y hoy entendemos que nos puede ayudar y por eso sale de inicio.
Ya va, gracias y suerte.
Vale, gracias.
Estas serán las palabras de Yago Barrasate, el técnico, comentando pues lo que iba a ser un poco el partido de hoy, con en el micrófono a nuestro compañero Damián. Rápidamente, Sandro, que compta la gent de fora.
Sí, ara estic amb un protagonista molt especial, que és en Dani, que ve des de Glasgow, Escòcia. M'ha dit que té un missatge per Mallorca i pels mallorquinistes. What's the message that you want to say to live TV?
I want to tell everybody in the whole world, Mallorca is beautiful. The people of Mallorca is beautiful. I want to thank my friend Pepe and Alberto for bringing me here. And I love to see Mallorca win today against Celta Vigo after last week's disappointment of the Barcelona match.
Bé, mos ha dit que estima molt Silla, estima molt a la gent d'aquí, estima molt en aquest equip. Ha mencionat en els seus companys que l'han duit fins aquí per veure aquest partit i a veure si podem intentar millorar el resultat que vàrem tenir la setmana passada. Tell me, Dani.
A la Mallorca.
Tell me, what do you think will be the score at the end of the game?
Today I think the game will be very close because the two teams are very similar. And I think Mallorca will win by 3 goals to 1.
Oh, wow! Okay, I hope so. I doncs mos ha dit que bé, li he demanat que quin creu que serà el resultat d'aquest partit. Mos ha dit que serà un partit molt ajustat, però que creu que guanyarem 3-1. I doncs, almenys si és vera. Thank you very much.
No problem, you're welcome and you have a nice day. A la Mallorca!
Amunt Mallorca!
Vamos! Sí, senyor. Lluc, espera, no, que no se m'agrada Lluc. Aguanta'm un moment. Lluc, no sé si m'ho segueixes escoltant.
Sí?
Lluc, jo te demano a tu, ja que,
Sí,
que això m'ha donat el seu resultat, tu quin resultat creus que tens? Vinga, farem una petita porra, va. I l'apuntaré. Un moment que l'apuntaré perquè haurà premi, Vale, dale.
Perfecte. Jo crec que ajustat no hi estirà. Jo crec que el Mallorca avui guanya 2-0.
2-0.
Sí, 2-0.
Perfecte. Resultat de Lluc, aquí ho apunt. Vale, jo he dit un 3-0 abans, he dit, Sandro, vine a dar una vuelta, fui hasta la tienda y tengo que decir una cosa que es algo que me gusta mucho y cuando voy por Alcudia, Campicofor, por muchos sitios, y es algo que me gusta mucho y lo quería recalcar, es que cada vez se ve a más gente con la camiseta del Mallorca, sobre todo a los turistas, ¿no? Porque era habitual, ¿no?, ver a los turistas con la camiseta del Real Madrid, del Fútbol Club Barcelona, Atlético de Madrid, Manchester City, por supuesto, ¿no? Todo esto lo sabemos, pero ahora, estos últimos años, se está viendo a más turistas, a más gente con la camiseta del Mallorca que vienen a visitar Somos, que se enamoran, como este turista, ¿no?, que estaba enamorado del Mallorca, que le gusta el Mallorca, ¿no? Y yo creo que es lo bien que lo está haciendo el Mallorca a nivel social, a nivel con la afición. Sandro, yo creo que hay que recalcar esto, que cada vez hay más gente que se interese por el club.
Sí, y eso al final lo que hace es un poco lo que ha conseguido el Mallorca, ¿no? Ese abrirse a la gente, abrirse al público, el ser más cercano, y yo creo que la gente lo está entendiendo. Y ya no solo eso, la de camisetas que se venden cada año ahora es como la gente está disfrutando mucho más de sentirse mallorquinista.
Con esas camisetas, sobre todo esta temporada, que yo creo que las tres son increíbles, espectaculares. Vale, dame tu resultado, Sandro.
A ver, me lo ha quitado yo, que yo iba a poner un 2-0. Como no puedo poner un 2-0, voy a poner un 2-1.
Vale. Sandro, un 2-1. Vale, perfecto. Hemos conocido ya el 11 del Mallorca, con el que hoy va a salir Iago Arrasate. Lo hemos escuchado también al técnico mallorquinista, sus declaraciones en apenas... Queda menos de una hora para que arranque el encuentro. También tenemos ya la porra hecha, solamente falta una persona. Y esa persona, vamos a primero que nos dé el 11 titular con el que va a salir aquí Claudio Giraldez, ese Celta de Vigo, que el año pasado es el Eurocelta. Este año está mirando de reojo competición europea, que nada va a llegar. Damián, en directo, primero me das el 11 y luego quiero que me digas la porra para este partido.
Perfecto, Llorens, pues vamos primero con el equipo por el que hoy apuesta Giraldez para intentar que sus primeros 3 puntos viajen hacia Vigo. Presenta el técnico del Celta varias novedades respecto al último partido frente al Getafe, seguramente también influido por el hecho de que el Celta juega 3 partidos en una misma semana. Hoy el de la jornada 2, el próximo fin de semana de la jornada 3, pero entre semana juega el de la jornada 6 adelantado, porque disputan tanto el Celta como el Betis, que es el próximo rival del conjunto gallego entre semana, competición europea, y precisamente por ese motivo se ha adelantado la jornada sufrimiento, muchos goles, pero al fin y al cabo, 3 puntos.
3-2. Bueno, pues gracias, Damián, por el 11 y ya hemos apuntado la porra. Bueno, vamos a repasar las porras. Yuk dice un 2-0, yo digo un 3-0, Sandro un 2-1 y Damián 3-2. Yo insisto que hoy creo que habrá portería cero. Vale, dicho esto, Sandro, Claudio Giraldez, la temporada pasada dejó al Celta de Vigo séptimo en Liga con 55 puntos. El máximo goleador, un hombre que ha vuelto también al Celta de Vigo, fue Borja Iglesias, y también volvió. Marcó 11 tantos la temporada pasada. Y el máximo asistente, Óscar Mingueza. Te pregunto, ¿vamos a ver un Celta de Vigo muy reconocido con la temporada pasada? ¿O ves que hay algunas cosas que ha ajustado Claudio Giraldez y ha querido cambiar?
No, yo creo que el concepto, viendo el otro día el partido de Getafe, el concepto es muy similar. Él va a jugar con una línea de 3-4-3, bastante ofensivo, de apretar muy alto, de tener la línea defensiva alta, de tener balón, de jugar muy rápido. Lo vimos aquí sobre todo en la segunda parte del encuentro, ¿no? Que fue cuando mejor se encontraron ellos y fue cuando terminaron llevándose el partido desde aquí, desde Somos. Es un equipo que son muy buenos con balón, que tiene los automatismos bastante interiorizados y juegan bastante rápido, ¿no? El ritmo de balones y de circulación es bastante alto y yo creo que ahí está la dificultad de los rivales, que ellos se asocian bien, atacan mucho y lo ceden mucho a atacar. ¿Cuál es el mayor debe que tienen ellos? Esa línea adelantada y sobre todo ese querer atacar constantemente también les hace sufrir en defensa. Fueron un equipo que el año pasado metieron muchos goles, pero también recibieron muchos. Entonces yo creo que es un poco lo que puede intentar aprovechar el Mallorca, de que el Celta no tenga todos los jugadores todavía bien metidos y esté un poco metido, ¿no?, con esa idea de la semana que viene tenemos 3 partidos, viene Europa, hay que competir, nos viene el Betis, que esa cabeza puede estar un poco dispersa y que cometan algún error de los que metieron el año pasado y nos permita a los mallorquinistas pues llevarnos esos 3 puntos.
La temporada pasada, que las 2 veces que el Mallorca se enfrentó al Celta de Vigo, el 6 de diciembre fue en la jornada 16, perdió 2-0 el Mallorca, perdió 2-0, y aquí en Somos, el 5 de abril, la jornada 30, perdió el Mallorca también 1-2. Los 2 partidos de la temporada pasada los perdió el Mallorca. La última vez que se ganó al Celta fue la temporada 23-24, un 16 de septiembre, como hemos dicho antes, con un Celta 0, Mallorca 1, con el gol de Vedat Muriqui, que hoy no estará, en el 85. Dicho esto, cuando ha arrancado el programa hemos dicho que se le havia hecho un mural a Abdon, justo fuera. Està en Lluc, un aficionat davant del mural. Mostra-mos el mural i menys què diu l'aficionat, perquè és ben guapo aquest mural,
Aquest mural és preciós i no només estic amb un, estic amb 2, que els he agafat perquè s'estaven fent una foto intentant fer la mateixa pose que fa Abdon en aquest mural i ja després els he vist que inclús feien la broma aquesta del bigot. A veure, contau-me, què significa per vosaltres aquest mural que li han fet a Abdon Prats?
Pues representa un dels millors jugadors i un dels únics mallorquins que ha l'equipo i trobant que hauria de jugar més.
Hombre, jo crec que el que vol dir és com ha de ser de Mallorca i del Mallorca, perquè bé, en moments del gol de l'ascens, tot això és com molt important per l'afició.
Trobeu que ha de jugar Abdon avui?
Claro. Sempre que jugui Abdon no parti.
El darrer minut, sempre, minut 92, Abdon Prats.
I en el minut 92, creus que entrarà i ficarà gol?
Avui sí, avui toca.
Jo confio en ell.
Vale, vinga, i ara aquí en el programa estem fent com una porra. Contau-me, quina és la vostra porra per aquest partit?
Un 2-1, gol d'en Pablo Torre de penalti i avui s'estrena en Mateu Josep.
3-1 per Mallorca.
I qui fica el gol?
En Pablo Torre, també jo crec que potser Nassano li toca i fins i tot, mira, Abdon.
I mira, jo aquesta pregunta ja l'he feta a un altre aficionat, però sabeu quan va ser la darrera vegada que el Mallorca va guanyar aquí a Somos contra el Celta?
Fa 2 anys. Ja en aquell partit.
En el 2023, pot ser, sí, amb un gol d'en Dani Rodríguez.
En Dani Rodríguez i Niago Aspat se'n va anar plorant.
Sí.
I doncs sí, jolín, aquests aficionats no només són bones persones, sinó que saben tot del Mallorca.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's matchup. Welcome to the YouTube Play Red channel here at Sunmosh. We have a beautiful kickoff awaiting us. We have a beautiful day out here at the Sunmosh Stadium, and we're just about 35 minutes away from kickoff, so we have a lot to talk about before we head into it. And in case you didn't know, Real Mallorca are going to be facing Celta Vigo out here today at a 5 p.m. kickoff. Again, here at the San Martín Stadium. 35 minutes left to go. So we've still got plenty and plenty of things to talk about. Now, first thing, we're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about, most would say, the elephant in the room. We're going to talk about the drama from last matchup. And in case you did miss it, last time out, Real Mallorca did face Barcelona here at the San Martín Stadium, where the visiting side did take home the 3 points, winning 3-0 with a very, very, very messy and controversial second goal by Ferran Torres that led to chaos in that matchup. Not only that, Manu Morlanes and Vedat Muriqi ended up both getting sent off, both with red cards, so Real Mallorca were down to 9 men in that matchup. And we're going to do a little analysis of that match, of what happened, and I think the positives and the negatives from that matchup. Now, if you did tune in, I think it was a very good display from Real Mallorca up against Barcelona. You know, they're facing the biggest team in the league in the first match of the whole division here at home, so it's never going to be an easy match, especially against a team like that. But either way, I think the performance was very good from Real Mallorca up until about the 20th minute, where they did concede with Rafinha scoring the first goal for Barcelona. Rafinha did score a decent goal. You know, it's a bit of lack of defending from Mateu Jama, who's defending Rafinha. Lamine Yamal just puts in the cross and Rafinha gets on the edge of it. But it's the second goal that we're mainly talking about here, which is the very, very controversial one. I'm sure you've seen it all over social media, everywhere, all over, because it was a very, very messy match, to say the least. But either way, in case you did miss it, what ends up happening is Lamine Yamal ends up taking a shot. Antonio Rayo, Real Mallorca's centre-back, blocks it with his head. He ends up going down, looking very hurt due to the ball hitting him too hard in the head. He ends up going down. Everyone stops the play thinking the referee's going to blow the whistle. The referee doesn't blow his whistle. And then Ferran Torres ends up taking a shot. He ends up scoring it. But the referee allowed the goal, and I think Mallorca were doing so well in that match. They almost had 2 or 3 occasions. They almost scored. They were about to bring it back. It looked like they were looking very, very, very strong up against this Barcelona side. But that goal happened, and I just think they completely lost their heads. And then again, just 10 minutes after that, Manu Morlanes and Muriqi both getting sent off. And I mean, I just think from that on onwards, you know, the match was pretty much over. And in the second half, Real Mallorca playing with 2 men less, they were never really going to stand a chance. They did defend well. They only conceded 1 goal in the last minute in the whole of the second half by Lamine Yamal, a very good goal. But either way, it was an absolute mess of a last matchup. We're hoping for a better match result out here today. It was very unfortunate. I was very pleased with Real Mallorca's performance. I think every Mallorquinista could be pleased with their performance. It's just a shame it happened the way it did. It's just a shame that that controversial goal happened, and then they started to lose their heads and everything just started to get messy. But either way, we're going to look at the stats from that matchup. Despite the stats, looking at them here, it was actually 28% possession for Real Mallorca and 72% for Barcelona. You'd think it was a very dominant display, but again, that's only because in the second half, Real Mallorca were playing with 2 men less. So it does make sense for Barcelona to hold the most of the possession in the whole matchup. But again, in the first match, it was in the first half, it was a very good display from Real Mallorca. 24 shots, 8 on target for Barcelona, and only 4 shots and 1 on target for Real Mallorca. And just a bit of a shame, bit of a disappointing result last weekend. I think most fans would be disappointed, not with the team, just with how it went. I do think the team put in a very good display. I think everyone did good. It was just a shame it went the way it did. Now, Real Mallorca, out of all the LaLiga matches they have played, which is only 1, so they haven't won a single one of their LaLiga matchups yet, and Celta Vigo also haven't won a matchup yet. Of course, both of these teams have only played 1 match, and today is the second round, the second week of the LaLiga division. But we're going to look at last time out for Celta Vigo. We just talked about last time out for Real Mallorca. Let's take a look at our opponents and see what they did last time out, and they faced up against Getafe at the Balaidos Stadium, where the visiting side actually did take home the 3 points, winning 2-0, scoring both goals in the second half. So a big loss for Celta Vigo last time out, facing up against that Getafe side. And I will say that Getafe side is starting to look very strong this season. They are starting to build up a big squad, and they do look threatening, so I can't blame them. Of course, statistically, Celta Vigo, by the looks of it, should have got the win, holding 70% possession and having 11 shots, only 3 on target. Getafe, on the other hand, only with 30% possession, 10 shots and 3 on target. I think when it comes to the offensive, they were very similar, but possessively, Celta Vigo definitely had the upper hand, and they are playing at home. But either way, disappointing result, I think, for Celta Vigo. They would have won to get the first win at home. Getafe, usually a weaker side, but again, as I mentioned, I think they're starting to build up a very strong squad, and they can be a very dangerous opponent this season. Now, if we look at last season for both of these sides, Real Mallorca did finish 10th place last season with 48 points. Just missing out from that European football, just missing that Conference League spot only by 4 points, yes, just. And of course, it would be history if Real Mallorca could compete for any type of European football, as it's been 20 years since Real Mallorca last competed in European football, so it would be massive if they could enter a European spot. But again, they've been so close last 2 years. Maybe this season could be the season, who knows. So yeah, 10th place with 48 points, just slightly away from that European football. Either way, a very, very good season for Real Mallorca. You know, those who know Real Mallorca, who have been following them for years, they used to be a much smaller club. We're talking about a team that would go down to the second division and come back up to the first division in LaLiga non-stop. And now they're out here getting 10th place. Last season, you know, Copa del Rey final just last year out too. I mean, Real Mallorca have really made a lot of history within the last 2 to 3 years, and hopefully they can keep it up. Now, if we look at last season for Celta Vigo, they've also had a very, very strong season last time out, finishing at 7th place with 55 points on the table. Not too far out in points from Real Mallorca, but just above them. And they actually gained themselves a spot in the Europa League competition this season, so they will be competing on that. You know, so if you do look at this matchup, Real Mallorca are facing against a team that will be competing in the Europa League this season. So it's really, really not going to be an easy result out here today. Every time we see these matchups between Real Mallorca and Celta Vigo, it's never an easy matchup. They're a very strong side. You do have to take that into consideration. They do have some very, very strong players. So it's not going to be an easy matchup. I actually think it's going to be a very, very close result. I've been trying to predict it all day, but I'm just not quite sure what's going to happen out here today. I'm hoping for a 2-1 victory for Real Mallorca. That's going to be my prediction for today. 2 Real Mallorca and 1 for Celta Vigo. If you guys want to put your predictions in, put them in the comments of the YouTube live and see if anyone can guess it. But that's going to be my prediction out here for today. But again, it's not going to be an easy matchup. Every time we have seen these two sides face each other, it's always been a close result. As a matter of fact, speaking about that, we're going to check out the last time these two sides did face each other. That was all the way back in April here at the Son Moix Stadium, where Martin Valjean did score early on to take the lead in the matchup, just in the first half, in the first 13 minutes. But unfortunately for Real Mallorca, it was shortly after in the second half where Celta scored 2 goals to take the lead and win the match 2-1. So again, a very close match, a very close result, 2-1 last time out here. A victory for Celta Vigo. They'll be wanting to get a victory again out here today. But of course, Real Mallorca will be looking for their first victory this season at home. And there's Leo Roman, the man in net, the man who's been so impressive last season and this season out. As a matter of fact, fun fact for you, Leo Roman is ranked 2nd in saves per match so far in the LaLiga division. He averages 5 saves per match, but of course, it's only the beginning of the LaLiga season. It's only the 2nd week, so we'll see if he can keep up this good form. We did see it last season. He's a very, very impressive goalkeeper, and even against the biggest names, he made the biggest saves. So things you love to see. Now, if you take a look at the screen here, we are getting words from fans outside of the stadium, and we are getting their opinion on today's matchup. As you can see, he's wearing the number 9, the Abdon Prat shirt, as he's a much-loved player out here today. He's not starting, but he is on the bench, so maybe we'll see him play a few more minutes. We didn't get to see him very often last season. So, you know, he's a very historically big player for Real Mallorca. He's the second all-time goal scorer for Real Mallorca. And he was a very big player about 2 seasons ago, pushing the team on a lot. But last season, again, he didn't get a lot of minutes. He was injured quite a bit. So it's a bit unfortunate for Abdon. But for those of you who don't know, this fan here is saying that he wishes for Abdon to play. He hoped he did. As most fans have been saying that out here today, they wish for Abdon to play as Muriqi is out with a red card. He can't play out here today. Most fans were hoping for Abdon Prat to play, just as this fan is commenting here. He is mentioning how he wanted Abdon to play, but he thinks he's not going to play, and the confirmed lineups are already out, and he's not in the starting 11. But again, he can still really help this Real Mallorca team this season, putting in a few more minutes, and maybe he could earn a spot in the team. But we just didn't get to see much of him last season, as he dealt with quite a bit of injuries, and I just think sometimes he was a bit inconsistent with his performances. I think when he comes out, he has plenty of good chances. He does good build-up play, but he can just never manage to put them away. Such a shame. But again, we'll see if Abdon Prat can help come on off the bench and push their team on forward. Now, the last time we saw these two sides face each other again, it was a very close result, but there's a difference out here today. Is that, as I just mentioned, Vedam Muriqi and Manu Morlanes, both players actually out suspended with a red card, as they did pick it up last time out. And also, not to mention, a very important player, Samu Costa, out injured till late August. He's going to be missing out here today too. He did pick up a knee injury in one of the preseason friendlies. So that's 3 very important players missing for Real Mallorca. You know, Manu Morlanes, Real Mallorca do have more centre defensive mids, at least to replace him, but with Muriqi being the main man up front, it's a hard replacement. And of course, so is Samu Costa, such an important centre defensive mid in this squad. He actually ran the most kilometers last season out of all the players in the whole LaLiga division. A very, very impressive stat. And it just comes to show how hard he works. Now, if you do look at the screen, you can see and check out the highlights from the last time out for Real Mallorca, as we just talked about earlier, up against that Barcelona side. And it really, really was a good performance from Real Mallorca. But again, just unfortunate with the whole second goal by Ferran Torres and the whole controversy behind it. It's just such a shame. That kid right there, of course, Lamine Yamal, a very hard player to defend. I mean, one of the best players in the world. You can't mention it. There's the red card there from Manu Morlanes as he took down Lamine Yamal. He did get booked a yellow, and he also got booked a yellow earlier. So it was a second yellow for him. He did take him down. It's not an unfair red card. It's just a shame, you know, defending a player like Lamine Yamal. I mean, you know, you can't blame him, and he already had a yellow before that. I just think the match got completely out of hand after that second Ferran Torres goal. But either way, if you want to check out the highlights, just look in the screen and you can see it all here in case you did miss it. And if you did miss it, very unfortunate. Again, there's the red card there from Muriqi, who, as you can see, he does go for the ball. He's just trying to get it, but it's a very, very dangerous tackle from Muriqi, and he does hit him on the side of the face with his boots. So for me, without a doubt, you know, it's a straight red. There's no argument to it. It's very dangerous. He's late. He does hit him. He is going for the ball, you can see, but he just connects with him. And after the match, Joan Garcia, he did have a big bruise on his head. So, you know, it's a straight red. They just lost their heads, I think, after that second goal. There he is there checking it on the VAR, because it was originally given a yellow, but then he took it to VAR and decided it was a red card. Was the right call from the referee, you do have to say. But talking about Muriqi being gone now, not only is Muriqi gone, Kyle Larian, of course, isn't in the players list, isn't in the squads list today at all, as he has been missing up against Barcelona too, and most of the preseason friendlies as it was rumored that he was due to make an exit from this Real Mallorca squad. He's still here at the squad, and by the looks of it, we don't know what's going to be going on with him. We don't know if he's going to be staying, if he's going to be going, but he did want to make an exit this season, but it's getting late and he still is here, so maybe he'll stay in this Real Mallorca squad, but today he is missing. He's not in the squad's list at all. And one thing that's very interesting is that the two maximum goal scorers last season for Real Mallorca were Vedan Muriqi and Kyle Larin, both sharing the maximum goal scorer with 7 goals each to their name. So, you know, 2 strikers with a decent amount of number of goals that Real Mallorca are missing out here today. So we'll see if they can make anything from it. But they do have a very, very important replacement up front. They do have Mateo Joseph making his starting debut up front. The player just signed from Leeds on loan from Real Mallorca, who also plays for the under-21 national Spanish team squad. So we're expecting big, big things from Mateo Joseph out here today. He made his debut up against Barcelona when he came on in the second half. Of course, with 2 men less, there's not much he could do, but either way, he was still very impressive. And I'm very, very excited to see Mateo Joseph out here today and see what he has to offer. As you can see, there's just 20 minutes left before the kickoff. The fans are racking up outside the stadium and inside the stadium, as you can see, getting a few interviews out there. And just about 20 minutes left to go before kickoff. We still have a bit more to talk about, so do not go anywhere if you are interested to hear about that. But again, 20 minutes away from kickoff, we have a very exciting one. It is a very, very warm one, very unfortunate for these players, you know. On a Saturday at 5 p.m., sitting at 30 degrees Celsius out here today at the Real Mallorca Son Moix Stadium. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be fatigue. And these players are really, really going to have to try and withstand the heat out here today. But not only them, but also the Celta Vigo squad. Now, if we look at that Celta Vigo side, one of their main threats, one of their main men for me is Borja Iglesias. We saw how impressive he was last season, scoring a total of 11 goals for his squad, making him the maximum goal scorer last season for Celta Vigo. Also including scoring a hat-trick up against Barcelona, one of the best teams in the league, and scoring a hat-trick against him. I mean, what a player he is. He's definitely a very dangerous goal threat. And for me, he's going to be the main man in today's match. Real Mallorca are really going to have to keep an eye on him. And they're really going to have to make sure they don't let him swindle through. Now, if we actually look at the lineups out here today, we're going to check the lineups out here from Real Mallorca. At the back, we do have the main man himself, Leo Roman, the man that's been very, very impressive. Enough said for him. You know, last season, he wasn't even the starting goalkeeper, and he made some big saves, averaging 12 saves up against Barcelona and against Real Madrid, the 2 biggest teams, you could argue, in the LaLiga division. So, a very impressive goalkeeper. Then the 2 centre-backs are, of course, nothing different here. Antonio Rayo and Martin Balgen, the same as always. And looking at the left back, again, nothing different. We have Johan Mojica at right back. Mateo Jaume, again, as always, the usual here. In the centre defensive mids, we have Antonio Sanchez and Omar Mascarell. Sergi Derrer in the centre mid position. Takuma Sano on the right mid. Pablo Torre in the left mid. And then up front, Mateo Joseph. So, again, a very impressive lineup here for Real Mallorca. And we'll see what they have to offer. Now, we're going to go on a 2-second break. We'll be back in a minute, so do not go anywhere because we still have plenty more to talk about. Now we're after that quick little break there. And again, just about 15 minutes left to go actually now for the kickoff. And as you can see here at Son Mosh, a very, very, very special guest at the Son Mosh Stadium if you are looking at your screen. For those who don't know, a very, very important and a very famous sumo wrestler. Just thinking, could I take him on? Could I beat him? I don't think I could. But a very interesting and special guest here at the Son Mosh Stadium out here today. Now, we're just, again, 15 minutes away from kickoff. Before we go into that, we're going to look at a few more things before we start the matchup. As you can see there, look at the love for Abdon Prats in this Son Mosh Stadium. We have so much love for this player. I mean, when I was walking outside, when I was out there, I can't count how many Abdon Prats t-shirts I did see. And the amount of people that want him to play out here today with Moriki missing, you know, it's ridiculous. The love that this man has for the club and the fans that pay back to him, you know, he's a very important figure here at the Son Mosh Stadium. Anyways, if we look at these two matchups face to face within the last 5 matchups between these two sides, Real Mallorca have won 2, Celta Vigo have won 2, and one of them was a draw. So very equal battle, I would say, going on here. But if we do look at the last 2 matchups between these sides, Celta Vigo have won both of them. So, you know, I think it's Real Mallorca's go to get victory out here now today. And both of these teams, I think, last season struggled a bit with goal scoring, especially Real Mallorca. But again, they have a new addition. They have quite a few new additions out here today. They help push on their squad again with Mateo Joseph up front, Pablo Torre in the left wing. These are all new additions, creating big goal scoring threats. Very, very excited to see what they have to offer out here today. And it's just something that Real Mallorca did struggle, especially in the second half of the season. Last season out was scoring goals. They were very good at building up play. The defense was very solid. They played 5 at the back. They had a good little formation. They had something good going on. But when it came down to putting the ball in the back of the net, when it came down to the last piece, it's where they struggled the most. And hopefully these new additions can help fix that problem out here today. Now, if we look, actually talking about goals, if we look at how many goals Real Mallorca have scored in the last 5 matches, they've scored a total of 5 goals, so averaging 1 goal per match, which is, you know, it's alright, but they need just that bit more. Of course, we are talking about friendlies and 1 league match, so there's not much we can go off of here. And for Celta Vigo, it's the same actually, 5 goals in 5 matches, so again, averaging 1 goal per match. So both of these teams, when it comes to the goal scoring, when it comes to the offense, it's very similar in that aspect. But again, we're basing it off of preseason friendlies and 1 league match. So you can't, in my opinion, preseasons can be, you know, a lie, can be fake, because you see teams do so well sometimes in the preseason, then at the start of the season they're a completely different squad. So we don't have much to go off of, so I wouldn't trust those stats. I definitely think Real Mallorca, when they do want to be, they can be a very, very dangerous offensive threat, and especially Celta Vigo too. You know, they have very dangerous players with high amounts of goals. Matters of fact, if we look at last season, for Iago Aspas, for example, that's 10 goals and 5 assists for him. Then we have Oscar Mingueza also starting for Celta Vigo. He's got 4 goals, 6 assists. And then, of course, Borja Iglesias with 11 goals. So we're talking about players last season with a high amount of goals and a high amount of assists. So this Celta Vigo side is definitely a big goal-scoring threat. But I just think when it comes to defending, Real Mallorca is their stronger suit. And, of course, the midfield now also looks very sharp. If they can fix that offensive side, then I think this Real Mallorca squad could be so dangerous this season. And hopefully they can secure a European Conference League spot or any type of European football. But, you know, again, Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager, did say that his objectives wasn't to focus on European football. It was for the fans to get along well with the team, as there was a lot of controversy within the last match of the season between the players and the fans, a lot of fighting going on. And the manager, his first objective this season is to fix that. And so far it's been very good. And hopefully the players can keep their connection with the fans good, as you know, the fans are everything for a football team. They need them to support them for them to do well. So hopefully we get to see that this season. But again, Jacob Arrasate, that was his goal this season, for the fans to get along with the players and to just focus on good performances. He didn't mention anything about European football or any of that. So we'll see what happens this season. I mean, I definitely think the Real America squad are capable of doing it, but the start of the season is going to be very important. So we'll see what they can offer for that. And we're just about 10 minutes away from kickoff here now, so do not go anywhere. We're going to get started very shortly. We're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back very, very shortly for kickoff. So do not go anywhere. We have a very exciting matchup coming up.
Ya somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío.
Bona feina, ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
Pues ya estamos aquí de nuevo, lo prometido es deuda.
And back after that quick break, we're just 5 minutes away from kickoff here at the Sunmosh Stadium. We're waiting for the players to walk out of the tunnel. We have the fans all excited here in here. The atmosphere is going absolutely crazy. These Real Mallorca fans all wishing to see their first victory here of the season at the Sunmosh Stadium. And of course the players and the manager too. Everybody's hoping for a good victory out here today after the disappointment up against Barcelona. And we've seen what Real Mallorca are capable of doing so far in the first matchup up against Barcelona, which again was a good performance. Just a shame the way it went and the things that happened. Of course, the elephant in the room, we have Mateo Joseph making his starting debut out here today as the man up front, as the striker, and hopefully he can create some danger for this Real Mallorca squad and help the team push on offensively. Again, as I think that's something that Real Mallorca struggled with last season, but hopefully they can help push their team on forward out here today. We're just 3 minutes away from kickoff. We're awaiting the players to walk out of the tunnel, and you could see the fans. You can see also the heat in here. It's sitting at about 30 degrees Celsius in this matchup on this Saturday, so it's going to be rough, I think, for both of these teams. The sun out here is absolutely beaming on everyone, so it's not going to be an easy matchup. Of course, there we have the players in the tunnel lining up. Celta Vigo losing last week out too, up against that Getafe side, who again, I think they are building a strong side, that Getafe side, so I can't blame them. And now I can see Mateo Joseph there in the tunnel getting ready along the sides of Pablo Torres, Sergi Darder, and many more. We have a very strong Real Mallorca squad going out here today. And not too different of a squad comparing it up against last week out, up against Barcelona. Only 2 or 3 changes made in that squad. The rest of it remains the same. And again, we're just getting ready for these players to walk out any second now. And now they are heading out. Celta Vigo up against Real Mallorca here at the Sunmosh Stadium. And what an exciting match we have out here today. I'm expecting big things from this Real Mallorca squad. And I'm sure everyone else is too. Every fan wearing red. I'm sure everyone's expecting big things. Celta Vigo in the light blue and Real Mallorca in the red and black. And now we have the Real Mallorca fans singing the Real Mallorca anthem. Now we have the 2 starting 11 squads saying hi to each other and saying hi to the referee. And soon we'll be kicking off this matchup. Johan Mojica walking up now. Both of these sides taking their picture. And look at the atmosphere in here. The flags are waving around. The fans are packed in and the sun is out and beaming. The the referee for today's matchup is going to be Jose Luis, the main man, with the whistle, the main referee. Here we have the two captains, Iago Aspas and Antonio Raillo, saying hi to each other and talking to the referee. So we'll see now who will kick off the match. Iago Aspas, and what a legend he is to the Celta Vigo squad, what player. And again, also a player who's a very, very dangerous goal threat. Of course, Antonio Raillo, as always, starting as the centre-back, as the captain for this Real Mallorca squad. Nothing new. We saw it last season, and we saw how important he was. And we're seeing it this season again. So now we have that Jacob Arrasate side having a bit of a speech, and now each player is going to get in their position. And you can still see the fans walking into the stadiums, getting busy here at the Son Stadium. Two sides, both ready for this kickoff. On the right side, we have Celta Vigo, and on the left side, we have Real Mallorca. Now the ball is in the middle of the pitch, and Real Mallorca are going to kick it off. And now we are on the way. As Sergi Derder kicks off the ball, and now Real Mallorca are going to go right at it. So Real Mallorca taking it up forward directly. The ball ends up all the way back to Martin Valgent on his side of the pitch. He's going to pass it into Leo Roman, the man between the sticks. And again, in this Somos Stadium, people still walking in, still getting packed up on this warm day here in Palma de Mallorca. Now this Celta Vigo squad trying to play it from at the back. It's Marcos Alonso. Plays into Carrera. Celta Vigo trying to take it forward. They end up losing possession. Now Real Mallorca have it. And again, both of these teams will be looking for the 3 points out here today at the Somos Stadium. Both of the teams looking for the first victory of the season. And Real Mallorca will do it here at the Somos Stadium, especially after losing last week at home. And Celta Vigo also losing last week at home. So both of these teams will want this victory out here today. Now Celta Vigo are going to take the throw in, give it in to Iago Aspas. Romano Mascarell dealing with the danger. Now Celta Vigo have another throw in. Pablo Duran playing up front for Celta Vigo, also making the danger. Now Sergi Derder doing very well here to keep possession of that ball. Going to play it all the way back to Leo Roman, who decides to take it up forward, looking for Takuma Sano. Ball ends up going out of play. It's going to be a throw in here for Real Mallorca. And there's Mateo Jaume, who had a very interesting last match here at the Somos Stadium. It wasn't the best of his performances, but from what I've seen in the preseason, he's a very impressive player. And by the looks of it, he might be the starting right back for Real Mallorca for the rest of the season. They don't have any other right backs at the minute. He's actually the only one. Now Celta Vigo holding possession of the ball in their own half of the pitch. Playing it all the way back to Radu. Plays it into Marcos Alonso. Marcos Alonso trying to play up forward. Now Real Mallorca trying to take it forward. They can't make anything from it. Now Celta Vigo have a chance Taking it down that right-hand side, playing it into Iago Aspas. Iago Aspas playing a through ball. Rueda trying to put in the cross. Now Johan Mojica doing very well to defend the cross. Up against Rueda. Now it's going to be a throw-in here for Celta Vigo. Approaching the first 5 minutes in this matchup now. And both teams going for it. It's Marcos Alonso. Marcos Alonso trying to play a through ball here into Duran. Celta Vigo, lovely little flick into Iago Aspas, but they can't make anything from it. Now Real Mallorca have a chance to take it forward. Sergi Derder, he drives forward. He does get a free kick for his side. So Real Mallorca get awarded the free kick just in their half of the pitch. I just think Real Mallorca really have to play this first half with calmness and not rush it forward. Just take their time. As when they rush up forward, they just seem to lose possession of the ball too quickly. So I think they just might want to slow this match down a little bit. Now trying to play a through ball into Takuma Asano, who almost gets it. He ends up going down to the ground here. He did get his head on it. He's complaining about getting hit. The referee originally awards a goal kick. We'll take a look at the replay here. Claims he gets hits in the head. He goes down with Marco Alonso. We'll take a look at the replay here. It doesn't quite look like there's much on that. I don't think that the referee will check it. Now Celta Vigo take the goal kick. Just rushing it forward, Celta Vigo losing it very quickly. Both of these teams starting off very equal. Both of the teams losing possession quite quickly. Now Pablo Torres going to help his team play from at the back. It's Mateo Jaume playing a through ball to Takuma. Marco Alonso defending it. And now Real Mallorca get the throw in. And again, I definitely think it's going to be a very, very tight matchup between these two sides. As every time they do play each other, it's always a very close one. Lovely turn there from Sergi Derder. He does end up losing it. Now here's Moriba. Moriba can take it forward for his team. He's not going to rush it. Celta Vigo playing into Iago Aspas. He plays it into Moriba. What can Moriba do with it? And Iago Aspas ends up losing it for Celta Vigo. And Leo Roman decides to play it forward, looking for Takuma Asano down the right-hand side. Celta Vigo defend it very well. And you can see the heat striking down on these players as it's a very hot day out here at the Son Mosh Stadium. Sitting at about 30 degrees Celsius out here today on a 5 p.m. kickoff. It's going to be a tough one for both of these sides. Now Marcos Alonso playing it into Carrera. Carrera, he does well to keep possession of the ball. And Celta Vigo not rushing it. Ball does go all the way back to Marcos Alonso. He's going to play it into Moriba, back to Pablo Alonso. And Celta Vigo just patiently looking for a way through. It's a good tackle here by Pablo Torre. And now Real Mallorca could make something from this. Mateo Joseph getting the shot off. Just not enough power on that shot. Radu does pick it up. But what a tackle that was there from Pablo Torre. And that's what Real Mallorca maybe have to try and do in this matchup. What tackle that is there by Pablo Torre. The shot from Mateo Joseph, just not enough accuracy or power on it. And Radu ends up picking it up quite easily, but it was a very good chance there for Real Mallorca, the first proper chance of this matchup. The first occasion, you could say. 9 minutes in, and it's for Real Mallorca. Now playing a free ball into Mateo Jaume, who plays it into Sergi Derder. Takuma Sano does very well to chase it down. The fans claiming a foul. Now Jugla can play a free ball into Iago Aspas, who gets taken down. The referee says play on. And there's Iago Aspas on the ground with his hands up, claiming a foul. He just claims that Mojica and Antonio Rayo took him down there. Doesn't quite look like there's much on it. I think there needs to be a bit more contact for there to be a foul. And the referee decides to play the game on. But it was a dangerous chance there from Celta Vigo. It's a good pass by Jukla to play it into Iago Aspas. That was probably Celta Vigo's most dangerous chance of the matchup. So both of these sides going at it. Now Real Mallorca. Antonio Sanchez holding possession of the ball in Celta Vigo's half of the pitch. Antonio Rayo. What a lovely flick there from Takuma Sano, trying to play it into Pablo Torre. But Celta Vigo get there first. And a good start here from Real Mallorca so far. It's been a very positive start. Now Antonio Rayo. Omar Mascarell looking for a pass. He plays a through ball into Pablo Torre, who brings it down with ease. He's going to play it into Mateo Jaume. Antonio Sanchez. Now Real Mallorca are making this work. What a lovely play this is here between Sergi Derder and Mateo Jaume. He tries putting in the low cross. Celta Vigo was there to clear it. Now it's going to be a throw-in for Real Mallorca, and a good build-up play there from Real Mallorca. And again, a very positive start so far to this matchup. Now Martin Valgent into Mateo Jaume. It's back to Martin Valgent, playing out wide to Antonio Rayo. And he's going to take it down the left side. It's a good build-up play from Real Mallorca so far. Trying to play a through ball here. They can't quite make anything from it, Takuma Sano. So now it's going to be a goal kick here for Celta Vigo. And Takuma Sano was just looking to play the through ball there, but just puts a bit too much power on the pass. There's the replay there from the earlier occasion. Definitely not enough on that for the referee to give the foul. And now Radu tries playing the ball up forward, but the centre backs for Real Mallorca get there first. Celta Vigo end up keeping it. Now Celta have possession. And Iago Aspas sitting deep, maybe trying to help his team push on forward. Celta Vigo are just going to keep hold of it. Alonso is going to play it into Carrera. Carrera playing a lovely through ball. And it could have been dangerous there from Jukla, but Antonio Rayo defends it very well. He's driving it forward, Jukla. He just couldn't keep hold of it. Now Mateo Jaume. Good touch here by Mateo Jaume. Ends up committing the foul on Marcos Alonso. The referee lets the play continue. And Antonio Sanchez is going to pick up a yellow card here. A straight yellow there already for Antonio Sanchez. in the first few minutes of this matchup, in the first 13 minutes. And there's already been a yellow card. There was the first foul by Mateo Jaume. And then there's the second foul there by Antonio Sanchez. Definitely a very dangerous foul. A bit reckless there from Antonio Sanchez. A bit unnecessary. And now he's picked up the yellow card. And it could be very dangerous from Celta Vigo. We saw last season how dangerous they were on set-piece plays. We'll see this season if they are equally as dangerous as last season now. Now Celta Vigo on the light blue and Real Mallorca on the red. Thiago Aspas stepping up to take the set-piece play for his team. Now Celta Vigo. Thiago Aspas to put in the cross. Puts into that second post. Only t-shirts in red there to clear it. No players in blue to get their head on it. Celta Vigo playing it all the way back. Now Moriba. It's going to play out to Fernandez. Sotelo. Pablo Torre pressing Sotelo. Now Celta just holding possession in their own half of the pitch. Keeping control of that ball. Marcos Alonso is going to play it down the left-hand side into Carrera, who plays a very good ball there. Into Duran. He tries passing it into Thiago Aspas. They don't understand each other. And now they give a throw into Real Mallorca. Takumasano playing it back to Mateo Jaume. Mateo Joseph trying to play a back heel. Can't make it work. Gives the ball to Celta Vigo. And now Celta have a chance. Taking it forward, Duran here. It's well defended by Real Mallorca. Moriba picks up the rebound, takes the shot off. And a big save there by Leo Roman. And what a save that is there. And what a chance there from Moriba, taking the long shot out. Placing it in that bottom left corner. A big save there by Leo Roman. As always, how many times do we see big saves from him? But again, a big save either way from Celta Vigo. And now Thiago Aspas is going to take the corner kick here for his side. Ends up playing it all the way back to Moriba, who's going to take a shot on from quite far out. He just can't get enough power on it. But Celta pick up the rebound. And now they have a chance. And so far, Celta have been holding the possession quite a bit within the last 5 minutes. And they're starting to look a bit dangerous. Carrera plays into Thiago Aspas, who tries getting the cross in. And it could have been dangerous there. Jugla flies up to get his head on it. Antonio Rayo does well to defend him. And now Thiago Aspas. They're trying to take it forward. Celta Vigo constantly have the possession, but they can't make much from it. Pablo Torre gets taken down there. Pablo Torre. The fans claiming a free kick. Real Mallorca continue to play on. Now here's Mojica. There's the free kick. Look at the replay there from the foul on Pablo Torre. It's Dominguez who takes him down from behind. Now Real Mallorca maybe trying to calm the play down a little, as Celta Vigo had quite a few minutes of the momentum there. But now Real Mallorca have the possession back of the ball in this game. Again, it's always going to be a close one, isn't it? And so far, it's been like that. It's been very equal from both sides. Now Martin Belgent back to Antonio Rayo, who plays it to Johan Mojica. Mojica playing a long through ball to Antonio Sanchez. He loses it. And now Celta have possession of the ball. It's Radu, the man between the sticks for Celta. And he's going to play it short. Real Mallorca have been very good so far in this first half. But within those last 5 minutes, Celta Vigo definitely took the momentum. And they had 2 or 3 very dangerous chances. Now Pablo Torre with a lovely touch. He tries flicking it up forward. Can't make it work. The ball ends up all the way back to Leo Roman. But again, a good positive start from Real Mallorca. Celta Vigo putting on the pressure within the last few minutes, but Real Mallorca have definitely had 2 or 3 very good chances too. So I definitely think it's been very equal. Now here's Mateo Jaume playing it into Takuma Sano. It's Sergi Derder. He's going to try and play a through ball, looking for Mateo Joseph. Too much power on that pass, and Radu picks it up. And Celta Vigo taking it quickly, driving it forward, playing it into Carreira. He plays it back to Moriba. Yago Aspas. Losing it. Pablo Torre takes it from him. Lovely ball into Sergi Derder. Real Mallorca are going to slow the play down. Play it all the way back to Johan Mojica. Now Antonio Sanchez into Derder. Trying to play a through ball into Takuma Sano. They can't quite understand each other. Now Celta have it. And it's Carreira. He's going to play it back. And again, very, very 50-50 so far in this matchup. It's been very equal. Now Martin Valgen taking up forward himself. He plays it into Takuma. What can Takuma Sano do here? He plays it back heel into Mojica. Mojica putting in the cross, looking for Mateo Joseph. And Radu gets down and gets his hands on it and clears the cross. But a very dangerous chance there for Real Mallorca. And so far, very good momentum from the side in red. Now Pablo Torre into Mojica. How many times did we see last season Johan Mojica put in those type of crosses? Those powerful crosses that he puts in with his left foot. How many times did we see him do that last season? By the looks of it, we're going to be seeing it again this season. Now Antonio Sanchez and Real Mallorca are going to hold possession in their own half of the pitch. But they're definitely taking up forward here. It's Antonio Rayo, the centre back, going all the way up himself. Into Mojica. Mojica putting in another cross. Just a bit too close to Radu, the man between the sticks. And he gets his hands on it first before anyone else. And he's going to play it short into Marcos Alonso. And so far, very entertaining first half. Both of these teams, very energetic. Both of these teams really going for it. And Real Mallorca definitely took the momentum now within the last 5 minutes. Celta Vigo doing well to hold it. Pablo Torre gets it. But Antonio Sanchez ends up committing the foul on Moriba. And he's got to be careful. He's got to watch out. As he's already got a yellow card. It doesn't quite look intentional. But either way, he's got to watch out. Now here's Carreira. He's going to cut in. Take the shot up with his right foot. Trying to curl it in. The ball just ends up going over the crossbar. And a dangerous chance there from Carreira. Just has a bit too much power on that shot, not enough accuracy. And just sends it over the crossbar. Now Leo Roman to take the goal kick for Real Mallorca. By the looks of it, Antonio Rayo is going to take the goal kick. He's going to play it short into Leo Roman. Martin Valgent Into Mateo Jaume. Celta Vigo putting on the press offensively. Can Real Mallorca deal with it well? It's Moriba. He has it on that left wing. He's going to play it into Carrera. And it's good play here from Celta Vigo. Trying to take the long shot off. It was Fernandez. But he just sends it flying over the crossbar. Not enough accuracy on that shot from Fernandez, as he was taking the shot from quite some distance. And by the looks of it, Sergi Derder was just getting a bit of a sign to his team to tell them, let's start playing more long balls. Let's start going up forward. And Leo Roman decides to play up forward. Pablo Torre with a nice little touch to bring it down. Holds possession of it, as he gets pressed here by Sotelo. Bit of a shove there from Sotelo. Looks like Pablo Torre and Sotelo are going at it a little bit. Now Antonio Sanchez into Derder. Derder into Takuma Sano, into Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre into Mateo Jaume. And this is good build-up play. And what ball that is there from Mateo Jaume into Mateo Joseph. Takuma Sano takes the shot off. And he just skips past that second post. And what a ball that was there into Mateo Joseph. Take a look at that. The touch from Mateo Joseph. He tried to take it himself, but his touch ended up being a pass for Takuma Sano, who takes the shot off. And it just skips past that second post. Not enough accuracy on it. And he needs to be getting those shots on target. But again, what a play that was there from Real Mallorca. And what a pass from Mateo Jaume. And as I did say, he was very impressive in the preseason. And we're seeing his quality today. There's Manu Morlanes, watching his match play on, as he got sent off last time out. But he is here, pushing his team forward. Now Celta Vigo. Iago Aspas trying to play a through ball into Jugla. But Real Mallorca defending. Now Takuma Sano's breaking forward. He decides to play it back into Mateo Jaume. Back to Takuma. Takuma's taking it himself. Lovely skill here from Takuma. Puts in the cross. But again, Radu is there first before anyone else, and he gets his hands on it. But it's good, confident play from Takuma Sano. And I do like the way he's looking so far in this first half. And this Real Mallorca squad's looking very sharp in this first half. And they definitely have the momentum at the minute. If they can't keep this up, then maybe they'll be looking at their first goal soon. 26 minutes in here now. Mateo Jaume trying to play it forward. He loses it in a very dangerous position, but Celta Vigo decide to play it back either way. And now here's Sotelo. Into Duran. It ends up all the way out to the right-hand side into Rueda. Celta Vigo take it all the way back to Marco Alonso. He's going to play it out to Carrera on that left-hand side. Celta end up losing it. Now Takuma Sano has it. He plays it into Mateo Joseph. And it's going to be a free kick here for Real Mallorca, as Takuma Sano got taken down. And so far I am liking how confident Mateo Joseph is looking. Looking very sharp so far in this first half. Now Pablo Torre. Back to Martin Valgent. And Martin Valgent gets taken down here with a dangerous free kick. And the fans all whistling in this Son Moix Stadium. You'd think there'd be a booking there. But the referee hasn't awarded anything. It's a very dangerous tackle. They're very unnecessary. Quite surprised that the referee hasn't written him into the books for that one. Now Martin Valgent looking for Takuma Asano. Marcos Alonso leaps up and gets his head on it. Now it's going to be a throw-in for Real Mallorca. Not long left to go before the end of this first half now. Just approaching the 30th minute marker. And so far, Real Mallorca looking like the better side. Now taking the throw, and Pablo Torre plays into Mateo Jaume. Antonio Sanchez out to Mojica. Mojica plays into Takuma. Takuma back to Mojica, who tries putting in the cross. Too many men in blue in that penalty area box. They end up clearing it. Now Celta Vigo have possession. Marcos Alonso into Carreira. Carreira playing it into Duran, who ends up losing it. And Celta Vigo, every time they get the ball back, they just can't seem to break forward. They always end up losing it, giving it back to Real Mallorca. And so far, that seems to be Celta Vigo's problem, especially within these last 5 to 10 minutes. They've definitely dropped the momentum, and Real Mallorca looking very sharp. Trying to play a long ball into Takuma Asano, but Marcos Alonso's there to defend it. Now Mojica doing very well, and Sergi Derder. He's going to play it into Martin Valgent. Martin Valgent into Takuma Asano, who plays a lovely little back heel into Pablo Torre. There's just not enough pace on the pass. And Celta Vigo have it back now. Can they make anything from this? Trying to play a long through ball, and again Celta Vigo just rushing it forward. And they end up losing it again. It's a poor giveaway by Celta Vigo. And by the looks of it, it just looks like they rush forward far too quickly. Maybe they need to look to slow down the play a little bit. And this Real Mallorca side looking very confident in this first half. Now Martin Valgent back to Leo Roman. Leo Roman not taking any chances. Playing up for Mateo Joseph with a lovely pass into Pablo Torre. Now this could be very dangerous. Pablo Torre trying to play through ball to Takuma. Mateo Joseph is going to get the rebound. Takes the shot off. But he just can't get it on target, and it bounces out of bounds. And what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca. And again, what a ball from Pablo Torre playing into Takuma. Look at that pass. I mean, what a player. Such quality on his feet. Marcos Alonso's there to tackle it. Mateo Joseph just gets there for the rebound, and it was a very clear chance, but he just can't get the volley on target, and it bounces out of bounds for a goal kick. But what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca. And this Celta Vigo side looking very worried now. And Real Mallorca playing some very, very impressive offensive plays so far. They've looked very sharp. And what a player Pablo Torres. You can really see these new additions helping the squad on forward, as I think so far Pablo Torre and Mateo Joseph have just been excellent. And again, Mateo Jaume also looking so sharp down that right hand side. And you can see the sweat on these players already. Again, as it is 30 degrees Celsius out there today. So far, 32 minutes in this matchup. So not long left to go now before the end of the first half. Just about 12, 13 minutes left to go. And so far, the Real Mallorca side looking very strong. You can see Jacob Arrasate there talking to his players, trying to help his team, trying to push them on forward. You can see him talking to all of them now. And all of these players dripping sweat. Again, as it's a very hot evening out here today at the Sunmosh Stadium. So that's why they are taking a quick hydration break. And I will take one with them. And now, both of these teams heading back out to their positions. And so far, this side in blue needs to look for a way to get forward, as Real Mallorca have been very dominant so far in this first half. And I just think the problem is, for the Celta Vigo side, is every time they get the ball back, they just try and rush it forward far too quickly. And by the looks of it, the fans were giving a big round of applause for one of those Real Mallorca fans that was in the stands crying up against the Barcelona squad. The little kid that went viral all over the internet. He's back here watching Real Mallorca play today, and the fans were giving him a big round of applause. And those are the things you love to see in the community. But either way, Celta Vigo get a corner kick. And now they could potentially make something from this. On the left-hand side, Celta Vigo take the corner kick, putting it in. It just goes over that crossbar. So it's going to be a goal kick here for Real Mallorca. And I think in this Real Mallorca squad, I definitely wouldn't change a thing going into the second half. I think everything's been excellent. And I think for Celta Vigo, they just need to slow the play down a lot more. They've rushed it forward far too much. Pablo Torre trying to play a little flick there into Moriba. I don't think he realized how much space he actually had. And now Leo Roman is going to try and play it through into Mateo Joseph. Pablo Torre flicks it on. Marcos Alonso ends up picking it up. And now Celta Vigo finally have a bit of possession of the ball. And just 9 minutes left to go before the 45th minute. And maybe Real Mallorca could get one before the end of this first half. And now Celta Vigo giving it away very poorly. Mateo Jaume gets there. Tries to play through ball into Pablo Torre. And he ends up tackling Carrera, Pablo Torre. And he is okay. He's back up on his feet. And it's going to be a goal kick for Celta Vigo. Not quite sure if he gets the ball or the player first. But either way, the referee did award the free kick. And now Celta Vigo are going to take it. And it was a lovely offensive press there from Mateo Jaume. And he plays a decent through ball, but Celta Vigo do very well to defend it. And now here's Moriba. Playing it into Sotelo, who plays a very dangerous through ball. Now Celta Vigo are on here. And Leo Roman is completely off his line. And what has just happened there? Celta Vigo have scored. And it's Reda who's chipped it in the back of the net. And what on earth has just happened there? I don't think anyone quite expected what just happened there. But either way, Celta Vigo have taken the lead 37 minutes in here now. And Javi Rueda gets the first goal for Celta Vigo. And what has happened there? Let's take a look at the replay here. What did we miss? Sotelo plays a lovely through ball, you do have to say, into Rueda. And Rueda just chips it in. Maybe Leo Roman shouldn't come off of his line so early. And I'm just so confused as to why that little Roman has come out there. He's come far too much off his line. And you think if he would have waited one more second, that Johan Mojica would have got there on time. But either way, Real Mallorca were completely in the lead, but Celta Vigo have scored first. And what a big surprise, I think, to everyone in this stadium, that Celta Vigo have actually scored again, as Real Mallorca were looking so much more dominant. Now Mojica gets it back, he plays it into the Herder. Moriba ends up getting it back. And now Real Mallorca just need to keep their heads up as they were looking so sharp. Iago Aspas on that right hand side. He's going to play it back. And I just think all Celta Vigo need to do is hold on to this 1-0 lead before the end of the first half. They won't want to risk it. Now Marcos Alonso. Back to Dominguez. And Celta playing far too easily through the middle there. It's Reda again. Now Marcos Alonso playing into Carrera. And all of a sudden Celta Vigo have completely picked up the rhythm since they've scored that very unexpected goal. And what a shame again, because they were playing their best minutes of football. And all of a sudden Celta Vigo have scored. And it was a lovely ball by Sotelo, you do have to say. But either way, what a shame for Real Mallorca. Now, Jutgla trying to put in the cross into the second post. No one can get it, and it's going to be a goal kick here for Real Mallorca. And they just need to go for it, as there's only 5 minutes left before the 45th minute. And if they could get an equalizer before the end of the first half, that would be massive for Real Mallorca. Now Mateo Joseph brings it down very well. Plays into Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre into Mateo Jaume. Real Mallorca are going to take it all the way back. Antonio Rayo into Mojica. Omar Mascarey. He's going to play out wide to Pablo Torre, who's on that right-hand side. Pablo Torre back to Martin Valgent. Into Sergi Derder. Back to Pablo Torre. Real Mallorca just patiently building their way up forward. Takuma Sano to Omar Mascarey. Out to Mateo Jaume. Back to Omar. And Real Mallorca just holding it. Patiently looking for a way through. Now here's Mojica into Martin Valgent. Back to Mojica. Not long left to go now for Real Mallorca. Now Omar Mascarey. Playing a through ball into Mateo Joseph. Celta Vigo clear it, but they do end up getting a throw in. Now Rayo, he plays out wide to Omar Mascarey. Back to Leo Roman. Leo Roman into Antonio Rayo. Lovely ball there into Mateo Joseph. What a touch and what a pass that is by Mateo Joseph. Now it's Takuma Sano down the left-hand side. Can he make anything from this? He just ends up losing it. And the Somos fans blowing their whistle, claiming it was a foul on Takuma Sano. But the referee awarded the foul to Celta Vigo in the end. And we'll have to take a look at the replay. Not quite sure how much of a push there was there on Takumasano. I just don't think there was maybe enough of a push. And all Celta Vigo need to do now is just hold on before the end of the first half. Now Celta Vigo just holding it again, and they won't want to risk it, as if they go into the halftime leading 1-0, it's a big advantage for Celta Vigo, especially playing away from home. And Real Mallorca really just need to go for it now within these last 2 minutes. Trying to play a long through ball into Mateo Joseph. Pablo Torre ends up picking up. Pablo Torre doing very well to play it back. Now Mateo Jaume. Out wide to Omar Mascarell. He tries playing a free ball into Pablo Torre, and he does. It's a lovely ball. Pablo Torre trying to play it back. Just can't quite find anyone. And he's giving it back to Celta Vigo, who now have a very dangerous chance. And Martin Valgent does very well to defend up against Jugla, as Celta Vigo were free on goal there. And it almost could have been 2-0 for Celta Vigo if Real Mallorca don't watch out. They really need to stay on their toes. And there's going to be a total of 3 minutes added on. So Real Mallorca definitely still have a chance to get back into it. Now Mateo Jaume into Takuma to Pablo Torre. Back to Dorder. And Dorder trying to put in the low cross. Celta Vigo to end up clearing it. And Martí Valgent chasing the ball down. Up against Duran, and he does well. He ends up getting the throw in. And it's good defending so far by Martin Valgent. Can Real Mallorca do anything before the end of the first half, as they were looking so sharp up until Celta Vigo's goal? Now here's Mojica. Back to Antonio Sanchez. He tries playing it back to Mojica. And the referee blows his whistle and awards the free kick to Celta Vigo, as Mojica ends up committing the foul. We'll take a look at the replay here. He just ends up hitting him a bit on the neck, it looks like. And of course, this Celta Vigo squad will just want to hold on to go into this first half winning 1-0. There's only 2 minutes left now before the referee blows his whistle. And now Radu to take the free kick for Celta Vigo. He's going to play it long. Antonio Rayo gets his head on it. No one's there to follow through, and it's going to be a throw-in for Celta Vigo. Now Carrera takes the throw-in. Now Dominguez playing it. And Celta Vigo holding it. Jacob Arrasate will be looking for a way through. He plays it into Carrera. And now Pablo Torre chasing it down. And Celta Vigo again just passing it and holding the ball. They're doing very well to keep hold of it and not taking it forward. And now the referee blows the halftime whistle. And that's all the time we're going to have for the first half. And a lot of disappointed faces, I think, in the Son Moix Stadium and on these players. Again, as Real Mallorca were looking like the better side by far. They were looking like the dominant side. And they just conceded that goal to Celta Vigo out of nowhere. So it definitely is a bit of a shame. But again, Real Mallorca are still looking very sharp even after the goal. The match is definitely not over. They're definitely still in this. And I think as soon as they get that first goal, Real Mallorca will start to get back into it. But again, you know, a shame that they did concede. And it's not exactly anyone's fault. I think Leo Roman comes off his line far too quickly. I think he should have held back, maybe, and stayed in the net. As maybe it looks like Johan Mojica could have got there in time. But either way, a disappointing result so far, because the performance has been very good, I think, from Real Mallorca. They just haven't found that goal yet. But again, still a whole second half to go. So we'll see if Real Mallorca can bring this back in the second half. Of course, Celta Vigo winning 1-0 here at the San Stadium might decide to go and play now a full defensive squad. And Real Mallorca are just going to have to give their best to try and get the goal. Now, first half is over here. Celta Vigo leading 1-0 here at the San Stadium. Still much more to go, still much more to offer. I definitely think Mateo Joseph is looking very sharp up front. I've definitely been a big fan of Mateo Joseph so far. He's almost had a chance or two to score. And I'm very much liking the looks of him. Again, not just him, Pablo Torre, Mateo Jaume, all these players so far looking very, very good. So yeah, I think it's been a positive first half. It's a shame that they did concede the goal. But again, still a whole second half left to go. So we'll see what they do have to offer. And again, I'm just looking at the replays here. Mallorca have had quite a few chances, quite a lot of chances to take the lead. And ever since they conceded that goal out of nowhere, Celta Vigo were looking very poor. They just sort of dropped the rhythm a little bit. But even so, they're starting to get back into it now. So we'll see if this Real Mallorca squad has what it takes to get back into it in this second half. And it's definitely not going to be easy against a side like this. A side that's competing in Europa League this season, you know. A side that's playing European football, so it's not going to be easy to get back into it. But again, from what I've seen so far, it's been very impressive from Real Mallorca. So we'll see if they can make anything from this. There's still a whole second half left to go. I'm just looking at the replays here now. Again, Pablo Torre has just been so impressive. He's been playing these lovely through balls. He's been pressing offensively. Everything has been very, very sharp so far from most of these Real Mallorca players. Now, we're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be back very shortly for the second half, so do not go anywhere. We have a very, very long second half and a very intense second half coming up very soon, and we'll see if Real Mallorca can bring this back. We'll be back very shortly.
Nosotros también. residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
Antonio, al lío.
Bona feina, ben fet.
No ha quedat tan malament.
No.
Rayo, quin és? Jo ja el veig en el Rayo. Quin és? Tu també.
Ja no t'has enfadat? També com una rialla avui, què passa? Bien, content.
Com estàs, crac?
Bé o no?
¿Cómo esteu?
El sombrero no se va a notar.
¿Se te ha pasado un poquito el mosquecho o no? ¿Sí?
¿Qué pasa, Timoni? ¿Todo bien? Bueno, pues este manda partido, ¿no? Nosotros también. Ya no quiero verte más llorar, ¿vale? Que vamos a hacerlo juntos.
La próxima vez tienes que animar, no puedes llorar, tienes que animar. ¿Como yo?
Peón.
Ánimo.
David, hemos regalado una camiseta.
Qué bonita.
¿Sí, no?
Mío.
¿Os gusta?
¿Qué pasa, campeones?
¿Estás contento?
¿Te viste el otro día? ¿Este es mejor?
Dice Mallorca.
¿Y tenemos que jugar así, con este sistema o qué? A seguir animando, ¿eh? Vale. Venga, tapapum.
Ya somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.
Lo hemos logrado, gracias a todos. Gracias, Precero.
suplentes, nadie por parte del Celta de Vigo, nadie calentando en las filas del conjunto de Claudio Giraldez. Una primera parte que ha terminado con 0-1. Gana el Celta de Vigo, pero aún hay mucho que decir en estos últimos 45 minutos que arrancarán en nada. Los protagonistas ya preparados para salir en el terreno del juego, para que arranque esta segunda parte enseguida. Sandro, ¿qué tiene que pasar en esta segunda parte para que el Mallorca pueda girar el marcador?
Lo primero que cada vez que puedan conectar con los extremos, con los jugadores que caen a banda, cuando saquen ese centro al área, pues haya cuantos más atacantes mejor, y sobre todo que puedan zafarse de la defensa, que puedan conseguir que esos balones que van a los laterales, ¿no? A las espaldas, por ejemplo, a los lados de jugadores como Marcos Alonso, como en este caso de cualquiera de los centrales, ¿no? De Carlos mismo, de Carlos Domínguez. Todos esos balones lo que permiten es que un jugador de allí salga, y el Mallorca lo está intentando aprovechar. Es como ha conseguido esas pocas segundas jugadas, ¿no? Que ha conseguido encontrarse el balón cerca del área, y que de una de esas pues al menos hagas que el portero tenga que intervenir, y si no puede intervenir, pues que al menos ese balón quede por allí para generarte una ocasión más. A partir de aquí, mantener la cierta estabilidad defensiva que has tenido por momentos, sobre todo después de los primeros 10 minutos, evitando que el Celta pueda correr, porque al final el Celta es un equipo que, si puede correr, tiene jugadores con talento. Incluso en esa salida de balón, cuando te apretan alto, puedes arriesgar alguna vez e intentar salir en corto, pero para que te apreten, intentar ahí buscar ese 1 para 1, ese 2 para 2 arriba, y a partir de ahí, pues si lo consiguen conectar, pues opciones para que el Mallorca pueda al menos meter un gol. Eso ya te mete en el partido, y ahí te empieza a cambiar la dinámica, porque la verdad es que en la primera parte no has estado mal, has tenido tus acercamientos, has tenido tus ocasiones, pero lo decíamos, ¿no? La jugada esa de Pablo Torre, que podía ser perfectamente córner, el árbitro ha pitado falta, te han sacado rápido, había un poco descolocado, y una acción de calidad del equipo vigués, pues han puesto ese 0-1.
Damián, hay cambios en las filas de Yagoba, cambios en las filas de Claudio Giraldez. ¿Hay algún jugador que vaya a mover pieza por pieza o no hay cambios?
Sí, se produce un cambio en las filas del Barco Deportivo Mallorca. Aparte, en forma de debut, debutará primeros minutos de Maras Kumbula, el albanés, que ahora mismo está ya haciendo sus últimos toques de balón. Ha estado calentando durante el descanso, y Yagoba Arrasate ha considerado oportuno pues que el no fichaje ya cuente con sus primeros minutos. Me he perdido el cartelón, pero ahora haciendo
Antonio,
un poco
creo que es
de...
Antonio Sánchez.
Sí, Antonio
Sí.
Sánchez, eso
Tenía tarjeta
iba a decir.
amarilla.
Y yo creo que está haciendo lo mismo Damián que pasó la semana pasada, ¿no? Los jugadores apercibidos, o en este caso amonestados. No quiere correr riesgos, sabiendo que ya perdimos 2 jugadores, y ha decidido hacer ese cambio. Y yo creo que aparte así contrarrestas un poco esa acción de 3 atacantes del Celta. Tienes 3 centrales para cada uno de ellos. Le das más espacio a los carriles, como son Mate y Mújica, que ya lo hemos visto, ¿no? Que cada vez que se incorporaban en ataque, sobre todo por la banda de Mújica o con Asano, le podían hacer daño. Pues ahora tendrás un jugador más para poder incorporarse al ataque, ya que tienes uno más en defensa para equilibrar, y ahí el Mallorca puede encontrar alguna variante de ataque.
Pues ya está en el terreno de juego, debutando y disputando sus primeros minutos aquí en casa, en Somos, Maras Kumbula. Ahí está, con el dorsal 4 en la espalda. La sustitución que la hemos comentado ahora por Antonio Sánchez, que tenía tarjeta amarilla. Lluc, no sé si has tingut temps d'anar a fer qualque refresc. Ja tornes a estar posicionada i preparada, no?
Sí, estic preparadíssima, i a més, comentaris que he sentit abans del partit, durant la prèvia, la gent té ganes, vol veure en Kumbula jugar, així que crec que és un canvi que agradarà molt a l'afició.
¿Hay confianza de que el Mallorca remonta o no, Lluc?
Sí, aquí l'esperança no se perd en cap moment, és a dir, que fins al final aquí seguirem animant i animant el Mallorca lo màxim que puguem.
Lluc, aquest sí, en tema de percentatge, que és de Suner 10, quan estàs convençuda?
Ui!
Vinga, va, perquè aquest sí, no sé jo,
Jo estic convençuda un 80%.
80%, venga, així m'agrada. Sandro, convencido que remonta el Mallorca, ¿qué tanto por ciento? Venga, dame uno.
Ay, te soy realista, 100.
100%, ahí está Damián, el hombre, nuestro hombre, el mejor de todos, nuestro hombre que está abajo, que todo lo ve. Convencido que se remonta con el tanto por ciento.
También absoluta convicción, 100%.
100%, pues bueno, aquí todo el mundo con mucha confianza.
¿Y tú?
Bueno, yo estoy 200%, imagínate, yo voy a tope. Confiando al 100%.
And we're back after that quick break, getting right into the second half, going right at it for Real Mallorca, losing here at the Son Moix Stadium. But so far it's been a very dominant display from this Real Mallorca side. But unfortunately, they have conceded in the first half. Out of nowhere, Celta Vigo managed to get a goal. And now Real Mallorca have a bit of a mountain to climb in the second half to get back into this matchup up against a tough side like this. But either way, so far this Real Mallorca side has been very impressive. So we'll see what they can do. And now Real Mallorca to take the free kick for their side. Sergi Derder is going to put in the cross into that second post. Too much height on that cross there from Sergi Derder. And the ball's gone right out for a goal kick for Celta Vigo. And it's a shame they can't make the most of those chances. They're very dangerous set-piece plays, but they just can't seem to make the most of it. And now Celta Vigo have a goal kick. But again, if you did miss the first half, it was a very dominant display from Real Mallorca. They were looking very impressive. The build-up play was very good. The offensive threat, it was very good. But they just conceded to Celta Vigo out of nowhere. Celta Vigo were looking very lost. They weren't good. They were losing the ball a lot. And out of nowhere, Celta Vigo scored. And then they start to take the rhythm a little bit again. But either way, Real Mallorca most certainly still in it. They just have to keep their heads calm. And they'll definitely get a goal soon. So 48 minutes in here now at the Son Moix Stadium. Real Mallorca playing well, but the result is what matters, and they are losing here 1-0. And they'll want to get the victory. Real Mallorca, they want to get their first victory playing at home this season, as they lost last week out against Barcelona here at the Son Moix Stadium. So they'll be looking to get the win here today. But we'll see either way if they can. Real Mallorca actually have made a substitute. I didn't even realize going into this first half. They've brought on the new addition for Real Mallorca. Kumbuya has come on. And now, what's this here? This could be a very dangerous chance for Real Mallorca. Takuma Sano playing into Mojica, who tries putting in the low cross. Mateo Joseph brings it down. Taking the shot off. Not quite enough power on that shot by Martin Valgent. And it goes right into the hands of Radu. But a very good build-up play there from Real Mallorca. And as I was just saying, the new addition to Real Mallorca, Kumbuya, has finally come on the pitch and making his debut here at the Son Moix Stadium. And Takuma Sano getting taken down and very frustrated for the referee for not giving a booking. And he ends up giving a yellow card to Takuma Sano for protesting. And now Real Mallorca just need to keep it cool. As we saw what happened last time out, the last time they lost their heads up against Barcelona. And the fans all in this Mallorca stadium all whistling the referee. And those Real Mallorca players and Takuma Sano just not happy with the referee for not giving out a yellow card. And now, either way, Real Mallorca do have the free kick. They can make something from this. Now, Real Mallorca to put in the set-piece play. Pablo Torre and Johan Mojica stepping over the free kick to see who's going to put in the cross. And the referee stops the play. Because by the looks of Antonio Raillo, just having a bit of a brawl there with one of those Celta Vigo defenders. Now Pablo Torre putting in the cross. And it goes right into the hands again of Radu. And no one was there to get their head on it. And it's a shame that they can't make the most of those dangerous chances. And now here comes Moriba. He plays into Carrera. And Javier Rueda trying to put in a cross, but it's blocked by Kumbuya. Celta Vigo are going to take it all the way back now. Now Moriba. And Celta Vigo are going to take it forward here. Playing a lovely through ball here, Celta. Now Real Mallorca have to stay on their toes. This is Duran who plays into Iago Aspas. Iago Aspas switching it all the way out to Marcos Alonso. And now it's Carrera who plays into Alonso. Alonso tries putting in the low cross. Martin Valgent was there to block it. And now it's going to be a corner kick here for Celta Vigo. And this Celta Vigo side picking up the rhythm now these last 2 minutes. And Real Mallorca have to stay on their toes if they want a chance to keep at it. Now Celta Vigo to put in the corner kick. Into that first post. Taking the shot off. And it just goes wide for Real Mallorca. But either way, the referee blows a whistle. I believe it was a foul on Martin Valgent either way, so it would not have counted. Dominguez just takes down Martin Valgent, so it wasn't going to count anyways. Now Leo Roman trying to play a ball into Mateo Joseph. He could chase it down. Mojica picks up the rebound, tries to head it. Mojica just seems to lose concentration there a little bit. And now Celta Vigo have the ball back and they're starting to take control of this match. And Real Mallorca need to keep at it, need to push the intensity. Now Pablo Torre does very, very well to get the ball back. Plays into there. Iago Aspas is there to cut out the pass. And Omar Mascaré commits the foul. He's going to pick up the yellow card here, Omar Mascaré. And that's the third player. That's the third yellow card that Real Mallorca have received. And every time Celta Vigo commits the fouls, they haven't picked up a yellow card yet. But Real Mallorca have somehow picked up 3 yellow cards. I just think it's a bit ridiculous that Celta Vigo haven't gotten a yellow card yet and Real Mallorca have been awarded 3. And I can't quite understand why the referee hasn't awarded any to Celta Vigo, as they have committed more fouls than Real Mallorca. Referee blows his whistle. It's just handball there from Johan Mojica. But again, I just think it's very unfortunate for Real Mallorca as the referee has booked 3 players on their first foul for a yellow card. And of course the Celta Vigo side have committed various fouls. Loads of these players and have not been awarded a single card. So I do understand the frustration from Real Mallorca and these fans. Now Real Mallorca have to throw in. 56 minutes in here now. And so far, Real Mallorca They did look a lot better in the first half, but there's still plenty of time to go. So hopefully they can get back in the mood. Now Kumbuya playing a pass into Darder, who does a lovely touch to bring it down. Mojica playing a free ball into Takuma Sano. What a ball it is, and Takuma Sano gets there on time. But it doesn't look like he has a lot of help. Now Mojica trying to put in the cross. Ends up going out for a throw-in. Now Mojica taking the throw-in into Kumbuya, who plays out to Raillo. Taking it down that right-hand side. Now Real Mallorca trying to build up the play. Kumbuya, the new addition, making his debut, trying to help push his team on forward. Now Mojica plays into Takuma, who loses it. The rebound just fell to Mojica, didn't quite expect it. Ends up kicking it out. Now Celta Vigo have a throw in. And by the looks of it, quite a few Real Mallorca players going to warm up. Marco Dominic, Abdon Prats, Dani Rodriguez, and Javi Yabres all going to warm up for this Real Mallorca side. So we might be seeing substitutions made very soon. And now Pablo Torre. Martin Valgent playing it into Mateo Jaume, who tries putting the low cross into that first post, but Celta Vigo is there first to clear it. And Real Mallorca still trying to get forward, looking for that equalizer. And they are starting to look a lot better. Now Mateo Joseph, he does very well to get out of that position. Now Kumbuya playing it to Darder, who tries playing it to Mojica. He ends up losing it, and now here comes Celta Vigo, and they could break on the counter-attack here. They end up losing it. Duran, he couldn't make anything from that, and now Real Mallorca can break on the counter-attack. What ball that is there into Mojica. He tries to take the touch, he keeps it in play. Now it's Mojica. What can he make from this? Puts in the pass into Mateo Joseph. He tries to get the shot off. He ends up going down. It doesn't look like there's a lot on that. Now Mojica, here he is again. He plays it into Mateo Joseph. Gets taken down. And the referee doesn't blow his whistle. Now it's Mojica again for the third time, who tries putting in the cross. And Celta Vigo clear it. Mojica with a lovely touch, he brings it down. And a very intense moment we're having over here. And Mojica gets taken down and no foul again. And I can't quite believe what I'm seeing from the referee here. As Real Mallorca just keep on getting fouled. Let's take a look here. How's he not awarded that? As it just looks like a clear foul to me on Mateo Joseph. The first one on Mateo Joseph. He does step on his foot. But if it wasn't awarded, I wouldn't be surprised. But the second one for me just looks like a clear penalty. And I just can't quite believe the refereeing here. I think it's horrendous from the referee so far. I think Real Mallorca have had one too many fouls not been given. And even 2 penalties in a row there that haven't been checked. And now Jutkla gets taken down. Mateo Jaume committing the foul. It's going to be a free kick here for Celta Vigo. But just looking at the foul on Mateo Joseph there, for me, it just looks like a clear penalty any day of the week, and I'm just not sure how it's not even gone to VAR, how they've not even checked that. As for me, it just looks so clear. Now Celta Vigo are going to take the free kick. The referee stops the play as Celta Vigo are going to be making 2 substitutions here. By the looks of it, Iago Aspas is going to be coming off. Dominguez also comes off for Celta Vigo. And Fernandez also coming off. So Celta Vigo making 3 substitutions there. Iago Aspas, Dominguez and Fernandez all coming off for Celta Vigo. And now Celta Vigo take the free kick quickly. Leo Roman gets out and gets his fist on it. Now Marcos Alonso playing it all the way back. And the ball goes all the way back to the man between the sticks, Radu. He plays it short into Carreira. Now Celta Vigo holding possession of it. And what a crazy last 10 minutes we've had so far. 63 minutes in this matchup here now. So not too long left to go. And we've had a very intense second half so far. And it's been a very entertaining match. I definitely think this Ramaka squad deserves the equalizer. But they'll just need to keep it up and give it a bit more. And now here's Moriba. And Celta Vigo just playing it short. Just holding possession. They can't seem to find a way through. So now Mojica tries giving the pass. It's going to be a throw in here for Mojica. Now Kumbuya playing it back to Martin Valgent. Martin Valgent into Raillo. Raillo to Kumbuya. And Kumbuya losing the ball in a very dangerous position here. Now Celta Vigo could have a chance. Trying to put in the cross into that second post, looking for Jugla. And he plays it back. And now Celta Vigo are going to restart the play. Just playing it through the middle into Moriba. He tries taking the shot off. It's blocked. Now Rueda playing it back. I've just gotten word that Dani Rodriguez and Marc Dominic are both going to be coming on for Real Mallorca very shortly. Now playing a through ball into Rueda here. He's on 1v1. And a big save there by Leo Roman. The offside flag goes up either way. It was going to be offside either way, so it wouldn't have counted. But what a save that is by Leo Roman. And now Real Mallorca soon to make some substitutions, I believe. Again, Dani Rodriguez and Marc Dominic, by the looks of it, might be coming on. I think Abdon might be coming on too. Kumbuya tries taking it forward and gets taken down there. And by the looks of it, Real Mallorca are going to be making a triple substitution. And listen to those fans cheering on. Here we go. So Mateo Joseph coming off. And what player he has been. Very, very impressed with him. Mateo Joseph coming off. Omar Mascarell also coming off. And we'll see who's going to be. So Takuma Sano, Omar Mascarell, and Mateo Joseph all coming off, and coming on is Marc Dominic, Abdon Prats, and Dani Rodriguez. So a triple substitution there made for Real Mallorca. And just by the looks of it, Jacob Arrasate is trying to bring on more offensive type of players. Also, and I think taking off Omar Mascarell might have been because he had the yellow card and he doesn't want to risk losing him. And now Celta Vigo trying to take it forward. Mateo Jaume blocks that pass. Abdon Prats putting on the offensive press. And now Antonio Rayo plays into Mojica. Mojica playing a lovely ball into Abdon. Abdon to Dani Rodriguez. The ball's going to go out wide. Now here's Pablo Torre. Decides taking the shot off. And what a shot there by Pablo Torre. And Radu makes a very, very big save. But what a shot that was there by Pablo Torre, and a very big save from Radu. Take a look at the replay here. Strikes it with his left foot. It's going almost into that top right corner. And look at the movement on the ball. Now Real Mallorca have the corner kick, putting into that second post. He gets a head on it. It's Antonio Rayo who just gets his head on it. But again, just off target. And Real Mallorca are so close to getting that equalizer. He just can't quite get a good connection on it. And it just rolls out. Again, look at the shot there from Pablo Torre. I didn't quite see it, but there's a free kick awarded there for Celta Vigo. There's Moriki also in the stands, watching his team play on. As he has been suspended, he's not allowed to play in this matchup. And now Real Mallorca picking up a lot of rhythm in this match. And the equalizer looks like it might be getting close, but Celta Vigo get the ball in a dangerous position there. Playing it into Rueda, no good. Now Pablo Torre has it. He loses it. And a very, very, very rough free kick there from Celta Vigo. Pablo Torre gets taken down and he hits him very hard. And again, no booking for any of those Celta Vigo players. Look at that, I mean. Very dangerous there. Very dangerous free kick. It was Willia who commits the foul. And again, just no bookings for Celta Vigo. And again, another foul there on Sergio Darder. And the referee finally decides to book one of those Celta Vigo players. And it's Sotelo who picks up the yellow card. And finally, Celta Vigo pick up a yellow card. Now Pablo Torre trying to play through ball into Mojica. Celta clear it well. Pablo Torre picks up the rebound. It's Darder. Pablo Torre back to Darder. Back to Rayo. Now Antonio Rayo. It's Martin Valgent. Martin Valgent, he just can't seem to find a solution there. Marco Alonso trying to clear it. Antonio Rayo gets his head on it. And it is true that Real Mallorca are playing very well, but they're just missing that final touch. Now, by the looks of it, Celta Vigo going to be making 2 substitutions here. And a very dangerous player coming on for Celta Vigo. Borja Iglesias coming on. The maximum goal scorer last season for Celta Vigo is going to be coming on. And he's not going to be the only one coming on. They are making 2 substitutions. Jutgla and Sotelo both coming off for Celta Vigo. And coming on here is Fran Beltran and Borja Iglesias. Now trying to get through here, Pablo Torre. Marc Dominic just gets taken down. And it's a very ugly foul as Marc Dominic was through there. And Dominguez is going to pick up the yellow card. So Dominguez ends up picking up the yellow card for taking Marc Dominic down there. Marc Dominic did very well there to get through on goal. And now Real Mallorca with a very dangerous set piece. It's Dani Rodriguez who's going to take the set piece play for Real Mallorca. Can they make anything from this? 15 minutes left to go. Putting in the cross. Antonio Rayo again gets his head on it, but he just can't seem to get it on target. And 15 minutes left to go. And Real Mallorca getting closer and closer to getting that equalizer. But Antonio Rayo, he just couldn't get the header on target. And now they are going to take a quick hydration break. Both of these teams here. And hopefully Jacobas Arrasate's side. Hopefully he can help push his team on forward to find a solution. And try and get the equalizers. There's only 15 minutes left to go now. And I would just love to know what Jacob Arrasate is telling his team. I would just love to know what he's saying to those players to help push them on forward. And it's such a shame because I definitely think Real Mallorca have been very impressive in this match. It's been a good performance, especially in the first half, and I just don't think Celta Vigo has been as dangerous as they would like to be. Despite the result, I definitely think Real Mallorca have been the better side. I mean, we are talking about a team as well that is competing in Europa League and that got 7th place last season. But so far, they just haven't looked very impressive to me. Celta Vigo, they've done the job to get the result, but I think when it comes to the performance, Real Mallorca have been very impressive. They've had plenty of more chances. But they just can't manage to get the goal in. And now Radu takes the goal kick. Can't make anything from it, so Leo Roman passes it into Martin Valgent. Sergi Derder into Kumbuya. Back to Leo Roman. Antonio Rayo. To Martin Valgent. Not long left to go now, and these fans are definitely starting to bite their nails, as there's not long left to go. And Real Mallorca are still trailing behind. Getting close to getting the equalizer, but they need to be more accurate in front of goal. And now Celta Vigo have a corner kick. Taking it from the left-hand side, and as you can see, not rushing to take it. Taking their time here, Celta Vigo, to take the corners. They are in the lead. They won't be rushing it. Now Celta Vigo putting the corner kick in. They could break on the counter-attack here. It's Marc Dominic. He just loses it. Dani Rodriguez tries to take it forward. And Marc Dominic, he just couldn't break fast enough on the counter-attack. He just couldn't keep the ball in control of him and left it behind. Now Kumbuya picks up the ball. He's going to give it to Raello. Jacob Arrasate, as you can see, by the sidelines. Looking for a way through. Looking for a formula to get that equalizer. Just 11 minutes left in this matchup here now. And you can see Real Mallorca really going for it. And Celta Vigo starting to hold back. Now trying to put in that cross there, Marc Dominic. He gets taken down there, Antonio Rayo. It's going to be a free kick here for Real Mallorca as Borja Iglesias just commits the foul on Rayo. Now Dani Rodriguez into Kumbuya. It's Mojica into Derder. Derder trying to put in the cross, but it goes again right into the hands of Radu. And these crosses today just haven't been accurate enough. Every time they've gone into the hands of the goalkeeper. Now Celta Vigo have possession of the ball. And it's Rueda on the right hand side. Borja Iglesias into Moriba. Now Moriba's going to take it forward, and do not give him space because he has a lethal long shot. Playing a through ball and taking the shot off. But he sends it flying over the crossbar. It was Williot. And what ball that was there from Moriba to play it into Williot there. And he sends it flying over the crossbar. What a chance that was there for Celta Vigo. And by the looks of it, I think Pablo Torre might be coming off here. Yes, Pablo Torre comes off and Jan Salas comes on. And just by the looks of it, he's quite in pain from that foul on his knee. And when you do look at the free kick, it was a rough free kick. It's just like It looks like he clashes into his knee when you look at the replay and the foul on Pablo Torre. So now he's come off and by the looks of it quite injured. Hopefully it's nothing too serious as he is such an important player in this squad. Now Celta Vigo have the free kick. There's not long left to go now. 8 minutes left to go, plus whatever there is of extra time. And Real Mallorca losing 1-0 at the Son Moix Stadium. And now Antonio Raillo. Looking for a way through here, Real Mallorca. Martin Valgen chasing Moriba down. Jan Salas gets there. He's just unlucky to not get through. It's a good play there by Real Mallorca either way. And now it's Kumbuya. He plays out to Mojica. Antonio Raillo. Real Mallorca patiently waiting for a way through. And it's Mojica on that left-hand side. Looking for a solution. Now it's Kumbuya into Derder. Derder's going to play it out to Raillo. And again, Real Mallorca just can't find a way through at the minute. Now Kumbuya's going to take it on himself. He's going to play it into Mojica. Now Mojica does very well to skip past his man. Trying to take the shot off. And it was a brave effort from Johan Mojica. But just a very poor shot. He just tries to curl it into that top right corner. It wasn't an easy shot. But a bit courageous taking the shot off there. Now it's going to be a throw-in. Not throw-in, a goal kick for Radu. And there's not long left to go now. Borja Iglesias heading on forward. Martin Valgent is there to clear it. Aldon Prats can't keep it in play. It's going to be a throw-in for Celta Vigo. And just 5 minutes left to go here now, plus extra time. It's not looking good for Real Mallorca. Trying to take the throw in. They give it right back to Real Mallorca. Jan Salas, he plays it back to Leo Roman. Now Kumbula. Antonio Raillo. Just looking for a way through. Playing into Abdon Prats. Mateo Jaume plays it. By the looks of it, they're going to go all the way out to the left side now. Kumbula. Into Mojica. Back to Dani Rodriguez. Just looking for a way through. Real Mallorca. Sergi Derder into Dani Rodriguez. And he just can't keep hold of the ball. He loses it. Now Borja Iglesias has it. Now playing a through ball. And Celta Vigo could be in here now. Sergi Derder gets there to defend on time. He gets the shot off. And it just rolls past wide in that second post. It was a good play there by Fran Beltran. No offside, so he was on goal. And Sergi Derder does so well to track back and get back there. Because if not, it could have been a goal there for Celta Vigo and that would have been game over. Now Martin Valgent into Jan Salas. Jan Salas trying to play it forward. It's a good ball by Jan Salas. Marc Dominic keeps in the play. Abdon Prats goes up. Mateo Jaume has a chance here. Takes the shot off. And it's in the back of the net. And Mateo Jaume's equalized here for Real Mallorca. And the Son Moix Stadium is absolutely buzzing. And Real Mallorca have equalized in the last minute of the match in the 86th. Just approaching the 87th. And there's the equalizer that Real Mallorca were looking for. And Mateo Jaume has absolutely smashed it into that top right corner. And Real Mallorca just deserved that equalizer so much, didn't they? And now they've finally done it. And all of a sudden the stadium has absolutely come to life. Look at this here, Marc Dominic. He does so well to keep it in play. Abdon Prats goes up, he gets the header very well, falls to Mateo Jaume, and he absolutely smashes it into that top left corner. Look at that goal there. With his right foot, smashes it. There's no saving that. And now Real Mallorca have equalized here at the Son Moix Stadium. Now playing a lovely through ball. It's Marc Dominic. And now Real Mallorca looking for the winner. He plays a lovely through ball into Sergi Darder. And Real Mallorca get the corner kick. And all of a sudden this stadium has come to life. What a match this is here. Now Sergi Darder to take the corner kick. 88 minutes in here now. And the match isn't over. Every single Mallorquin on their feet right now. Now Darder puts in the corner kick. Trying to get on the edge of it. And what a chance that was there for Real Mallorca. Now Mateo Jaume. He's going to put the cross in. Looking for the second post. Kumbuya keeps it in. And it's cleared here by Celta. Sergio there. He takes the throw in quickly. And what a match we have on our hands. Mojica, the cross into the second post. Marc Dominic leaps up to get his head on it. But he just can't get it on target. And now it's gone out for a goal kick. And what a crazy few minutes we've just had. He does well to leap up and get his head on it. He just can't get it on target. It's a difficult header. And what a crazy few minutes we've just had. It's been absolutely crazy so far in this Son Moix Stadium in the last few minutes. Real Mallorca getting the equalizer and even going for the winner. It's been absolutely madness in this Son Moix Stadium these last few minutes. Now we're just about to approach the 90th minute. And there's still time. Dani Rodriguez trying to play a through ball into Abdon. Abdon has it down the left-hand side. Now Abdon just looking for a way through or potential free kick. Borja Iglesias takes down Antonio Raillo. There's no foul. It's going to be a throw-in for Celta. And now the referee looks like he has a red card in his hand. And he's just awarded it to one of the Real Mallorca staff members. He's awarded a red card to one of the Real Mallorca staff members. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And now Celta Vigo taking a while to take the throw in. There's still time to go for a winner here. Trying to play up for Marc Dominic, chasing it down. The ball is kicked out. And now Mojica's going to take the throw in here. He gives it to Jan Salas. It's Kumbula. Antonio Rayo has it. Real Mallorca going for that late minute winner. It's Mateu Jaume. He tries putting in the cross into that second post. Looking for Abdon there. And it was a good ball. There was just a bit too much height on it. Now it's going to be a goal kick for Celta Vigo. There's 3 minutes left to go. There was 5 minutes added on. Now we're in the 92. And what a crazy last few minutes we've had in this matchup. And now Real Mallorca have possession of the ball. Kumbuya's trying to play along for ball to Mojica. Can't find him. Dorder brings it down. Just can't chase the ball down on time. Ball goes out to Martin Balgent. Now Mateu Jaume. Into Dani Rodriguez. Out to Kumbula. Into Mojica. Gives it back to Kumbula. Kumbula tries putting in the cross. He gets the corner kick. And now 2 minutes left to go here, and Real Mallorca have a corner kick. And you can feel the nerves in this stadium. You can feel the energy in here. Sergi Dorder is going to take the corner kick. Real Mallorca trying to leap up to get it. No one can get their head on it. Antonio Rayo keeps it in play. Playing it back to Mateu Jaume, who puts the cross in again. Headed on to Dorder. Sergi Dorder to Dani Rodriguez, who tries putting in the cross again. And now Mojica puts it back in to Dani Rodriguez, who takes the shot off. And it just deflects out of bounds. And the referees put the offside flag up. I'm not quite sure when, because so much happened there. But what an insane last few minutes we've had. And now, 40 seconds left to go. Celta Vigo taking their time to take the goal kick. Takes the goal kick here, Radu. Antonio Rayo gets the foul here. Both of these players on the ground hurt. Take a look at the replay here. Borja Iglesias on the ground. He looks quite hurt. Hopefully he is okay. Antonio Rayo is back up on his feet, waiting to see if Borja Iglesias is okay. And the referee has blown his full-time whistle. And that is going to be the end of this match here. The referee blows his full-time whistle. And that is the end of this matchup here. Real Mallorca 1, Celta Vigo 1. And what a crazy match we've had here. What an insane matchup we've had here at the Sunwash Stadium today. It's been absolute madness in those last 10 minutes. And the draw, the first point of this season has finally been added to the Real Mallorca board, to the table. And it's been absolutely insane in these last 10 minutes. I can't believe what I'm seeing or how intense it was. But Mateu Jaume stepped up in the last 4 minutes of the matchup and got the equalizer for his team. And what a match it's been. It's been crazy out here at the Sunwash Stadium. You do say I am very happy with the result and with the performance. I think Real Mallorca definitely could have won. I think they should have won. I think conceding that first goal, in the first half is what really took them out. The second half of the match was most definitely very dominant from Real Mallorca. And the first half, I would say Real Mallorca were also better. It's just that Celta Vigo out of nowhere got that goal in the first half, and that just knocked Real Mallorca off a little bit in that first half. But either way, I think in the match, in the whole match in general, Real Mallorca was definitely the better side, and especially in that second half. And you do have to take into consideration the opponents that they are playing. I'm just looking at the screen here, all the players happy with each other and clapping to the fans, of course. And all the fans booing and whistling at the referee, not happy with the referee in the slightest. But either way, I'm just looking at these Real Mallorca players now. There's Martin Valgent, who by the looks of it is giving away his t-shirt to a fan. Very nice gesture there from him. But I think the Real Mallorca fans will be happy with this result again. They probably should have even won, but either way, an emotional late-minute winner there, and almost... Not a winner, sorry. An emotional late-minute equalizer and almost a late winner. As Real Mallorca were so close to scoring within those last 3 minutes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere, as we are going to get the player interviews very, very soon. Here, exclusive interviews on the YouTube Play Red channel. If you do want to hear that, again, do not go anywhere, because we're going to have those coming up very soon. And then, of course, as always, we'll have the press conference from the Real Mallorca manager, Jacob Arrasate. So, if you do want to see those, do not go anywhere, because we'll have those coming up very soon. But in the meantime, we are going to analyze a bit the whole match and what just happened. Now, for me, let's just look at the first half, for example. First 20 minutes, first 15 minutes, it was very equal. We're actually going to get the words from one of the fans that's outside the stadium, and we're going to get the opinion from him. And we're just going to hear what he has to say, this fan, about the match of today. Well, this fan right here definitely thinks that we played better than the other day, and that Real Mallorca are missing a bit more offensive threat, but he definitely thinks that they did play better today. Now, we're going to get the words of Mateu Jaume, the goal scorer of the match. 1 point is good always in first division, but I saw your reaction from here. You wanted more. Yeah, 100%. I think the last 15 minutes, we were a lot better than them. We had so many chances in their half of the pitch. We had loads of chances. We have to be happy with those last 15 minutes, with the reaction of the people. When we scored, they deserved that happiness that we got. I think we did a lot of things well today, but hey, we'll continue working. We're very united and we're very happy. Those last 15 minutes, the system completely changed. It looks like the team was better. Yeah, we changed, a few things. I think when we played with 5 at the back, we get a lot closer. Offensively, we look a lot better. So we have to look at that. Tomorrow, you know, we have to recuperate and get ready for next week. First goal here at your home in front of your people with that badge. What do you feel? Oh, I'm very emotional. You know, it's been a lot of hard days for me. And this is like a dream for me to score here at my home in front of our people. You know, in front of all the fans. Thank you to everyone who helped me throughout all this time. Yeah, we'll keep on fighting and we'll get the victory next time. Things that you love to see. Mateu Jama, as you can see, absolutely buzzing with his goal. Very, very emotional. As you can see, I could hear his voice cracking up like he was about to break down in tears. You could just hear it in his voice. And you can see him put his hands on his face as he left. You know, very, very emotional. He is a Mallorquin. He was brought up here on the island. And it's the first time for him scoring here in front of the fans. And you can see what it means to him. Things you love to see. It left me absolutely speechless. It's beautiful to see things like that in football. But yeah, Mateu Jama very, very happy to get his goal. And now focus. He's very happy with the team. And as he said, the fans deserved it. You know, at least they could give that happiness to the fans within those last 15 minutes. And the change of system within the last 15 minutes, you could absolutely see the difference. You could see how much better the team was those last 15 minutes. I mean, they were all over the place. If you would have gave him 5 more minutes, I think they would have scored another goal. So yeah, very good performance from Real Mallorca. A shame about the result. Shame they couldn't get the win, but either way, 1 point at home with a late minute equalizer. Not terrible. Now, we're going to get the words from a few little fans out here by the stadium. We're going to see what they think of this matchup. This little guy thinks that Real Mallorca could have done a bit better. He thinks that, yeah, it was okay. There's not much words coming out from these little ones. He also thinks that they had to push on a little bit more. They had to put a bit more intensity. He's telling them how they were feeling a bit nervous around the end of the match. Not many words from, you know, these young Mallorquistas, but they are very happy with the result, I'm sure. But they did say at the beginning, you know, they wanted a bit more from their team. Again, as you can say, they were missing a bit intensity, you know, at the beginning of the match and going into the second half. Of course, last 50 minutes, absolutely spectacular. And first half was even very good. But the second half was definitely the best part, especially in those last 15 minutes as the intensity got a little better. But as you can see from the words from these fans in the street just outside the stadium, the fans that have watched this match, they're happy, especially, you know, with the end part. But it should have been a win, and the team needs to give a bit more. So that's what the fans are saying about this matchup. And soon we'll get some of the words from the players. We just had the words from Mateu Jama from the interview, and we'll get a few more coming up very soon. So if you want to hear those, don't go anywhere. Again, we're going to get a few more interviews coming up very soon, and then, well, of course, we'll have the press conference from Jacob Arrasate, the Real Mallorca manager. So do not go anywhere if you want to hear that. But until then, we're going to keep on analyzing this match. And one thing I do also want to talk about was how spectacular, in my opinion, Pablo Torre is being this season. He's only played 2 matches, and I just think he's absolutely amazing the way he moves. his offensive play, it's perfect. He helps push the team out. He gave some lovely through balls today. His press is excellent. And even when his team is struggling to play from at the back, he'll sit deep, come help his team play out forward. I just think Pablo Torre has been a spectacular signing by Real Mallorca. I'm very impressed with their performance. It's been very, very good from Real Mallorca, and especially from Pablo Torre. Now, if you were watching the match, as you did see, Pablo Torre, he did have to come off in the last few minutes, and he looked quite hurt on the bench as he got a bit of an injury, collided with his knee with another player. Now, hopefully it is nothing too serious, because again, he's been such an important role in this Real Mallorca squad, and losing him would be a very, very big blow for Real Mallorca. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, as he is just such an important player for this Real Mallorca squad. Of course, now we've not got any updates, but we will get updates on that soon. As Real Mallorca, they're also missing Samuel Costa. He was out injured just a few weeks ago, so missing Pablo Torre too, would also be a big miss. And then not only that, they're also missing Muriqi, who was out suspended this match, and they were missing Manu Morlanes, who was also out suspended this match due to red cards, but they should be back next week out. And yeah, again, hopefully it's nothing too serious. He's just such an important player in this squad, and they are facing pretty much the toughest opponent, one of the tough opponents they are going to get next week out. Real Mallorca will be facing up against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu Stadium. And when you're playing a team like Real Madrid, you need all your players available. So hopefully it's nothing too serious on Pablo Torre. We'll get updates, information on him soon, and then we'll see. Now I believe we are going to get some words from some fans outside the stadium again. Let's see what they have to say. He thinks that it was a good performance, but he's not happy with the referee. He thinks the team is good, and that Mateo was very good. Yeah, this kid is he's been screaming a lot. He's lost his voice a little bit. She thinks that the first half was a bit weak, but in general it was a good match. They're very happy with Mateo Jaume's performance. And now they're talking about Real Madrid. The kid's talking about how it's going to be a very difficult match. I mean, as you know, it's going to be hard. She's confident that Real Madrid are going to get the win. She said she definitely thinks it's possible. So we'll see. I mean, these fans are... He thinks that Pablo Torre will score soon. And she thinks that Abdon will score soon up against Real Madrid. But I don't know. Scoring a goal at the Santiago Bernabeu is not exactly the easiest of tasks, but those were the words from those fans. There not many people of many words, but those were their opinions there. I mean, the kid talking about Pablo Torre, hopefully he scores next week out against Real Madrid. That is if, again, as I was just talking about, if he isn't injured, which hopefully he isn't. And taking a look at some of his replays here, the long shot he took there up against Radu, I mean, what a play and what a shot that was. I'm just surprised at the fact that Radu leaped up to get that amazing save. And it was also a very, very big performance from Sergi Darder. I mean, last season he was the most important player. He was voted the best player for Real Mallorca last season. And this season he's been just as impressive. I mean, the way he gets the ball and he just never loses it. He just can shimmy around and move it, and he just very rarely loses possession of the ball. He's a very, very impressive player. And not only that, Celta Vigo, you know, they were through on goal in the last minute, 1-on-1, and you could see Sergi there sprinting, tracking back to help his team in defense. And now we're going to have the words from Martin Valgent. Martin, how do you feel after this draw? Because, you know, a draw isn't bad, but seeing the last minutes, we could have won. Yeah, we wanted to win. We should have won. 2 matches at home. You know, what we want is 3 points. But hey, you know, sometimes it's hard to get 3 points. We saw it today. You know, we had so many clear occasions, especially in the second half. But hey, in the end, we only got 1 point, but we want more. Do you think that the team looked a lot better in the second half? Yeah, you know, with the people pushing us on and the fans pushing us on, and then when we got the draw, you know, we just really wanted to win it. But hey, we couldn't create a very clear chance in the last few minutes. You know, we felt the pressure, but we just couldn't do it. I wanted to ask you about the man of the match, you know, Mateo Jaume. He was very emotional after our interview because, you know, he's been suffering through these years. And today he scored his first goal in front of the crowd. What do you think? Yeah, I hope he enjoys it because, you know, he's an example of Mallorcanism, you know, of working hard. He wants to be here. He wants to help. I think the goal helped the team, and it helped him. So we're all very confident in him. And, yeah, he has to be an example. I hope it helps him to get better throughout the season, just like the whole team. Those were the words there from Martin Valgent, one of the Real Mallorca captains. And I think we're going to get some more words from some of the fans outside of the stadium. How do you think the match went? He asks him. He thinks that it was very close. Up until about the 70th minute, we didn't really see any good chances. And yeah, well, at least a bit happy with that point. But, you know, I don't know how I'm seeing it. I don't know how I'm seeing the season. You know, next week against Madrid, then we have complicated matches. Then we have Atletico Madrid. And yeah, it's going to be very complicated. But hey, I hope, you know, they sign 1 or 2 more players. We've had to cut him off because we're going to get the words from Kumbuya here. Kumbuya, congratulations on the debut. How do you feel? Very good. I feel really good with my team. We have a very difficult team to beat. You know, we were looking for that equalizer, and then we even looked for the winner in the end. In the end, we did have some good chances, but, you know, in the end, a draw is fine. It's good. It's better than losing. Do you think that the change of the system in the second half, the team started to look a lot better in the second half? Do you think so? I think that also in the first half, the team was still looking good for the spaces to get through. But, you know, I also think that the pitch was very dry, so the balls wouldn't exactly roll properly. But then in the second half, we had a lot more chances to score. I think the whole team did a good job. Do you think this will give confidence to the team? Yeah, I think so, you know, because when you draw or when you win in the last minute, it gives you a lot more confidence. And in the end, we're going to work hard this week for, you know, a very difficult match coming up. Those are the words there from Kumbula, the new signing for Real Mallorca, who is here on loan this season. And he's not the only player on loan this season. You know, you've also got Mateo Joseph, who's also on loan this season, and we'll be talking about him in just a minute. But until then, we're just going to analyze real quickly what Kumbuya said. You know, now, sorry, we're going to cut out because we have the words from Jacoba Arrasate. Jacoba, how do you feel? What does it taste like after getting this draw? Because, you know, a draw isn't bad, but, you know, you feel like you needed more. Yeah, you know, I know in the end the goal changed everyone's faces. But, you know, I had the sensation if it lasted just a bit longer, you know, we definitely could have got there. We were all over Celta. how would you describe that the match went, especially after the change of system in the second half? The teams started to look a lot better. They started to get closer. What do you think? I think the lesson is that it was a very good match. You know, we have to look at the first half. They did score a good goal. We defended very badly. And then, you know, in the middle of the second half, we started to change the system so we could start going more for the goal, so we could get closer to them. And then that's when it started to look better. We got more shots. Strategically, we started to look better. And then the goal finally got there, you know, and that's what we have to look at. Do you think that this gives the team confidence? I think it's a really good goal from Mateo. You know, that touch, he does it, brings it down well. He positions himself well. And Danny and Kumbuya and Abdon, everyone that brought on energy in the second half really helped to push the team on. Is Pablo Torre okay? He asked for the sub because, you know, he was hurt, and also because he was very tired. So these were the words there from Jacob Arrasate. So that is all for the player interviews in this live stream. We're not going to have any more player interviews. But of course, we still have to see Jacobas Arrasate's press conference, so don't go anywhere if you still want to see that. My correspondent here is talking about how we're going to play against Real Madrid next week, how it's going to be complicated, but at least this match gave us a bit of confidence. So, that is the end of our correspondence. We won't be seeing them again. It's just us now. I'm just waiting to see. Just waiting to see if we're going to get the press conference or not from Jacob Arrasate. I think we are going to get that. So if you do want to get that, do not go anywhere. I'm just waiting to find out now. But again, just wait a few minutes and we'll see if we can get Jacob Arrasate's press conference in a minute to hear the words and hear the questions that the people have to give him about this. But there's quite a few things I did want to analyze. And one of them is, you know, talking about next week. Yes, I think this match did give a lot more confidence to the squad, you know. Seeing how they played out there today was very impressive. They did look very good. I think Pablo Torre, very impressive player. There was, you know, a lot of positives from today. One too many. Unfortunately, the result couldn't be one of them. But either way, I definitely think there was a lot of positives. But, you know, they're going out now. They're playing against Real Madrid at their own ground. I think, you know, most Mallorquinista fans won't be expecting much from this matchup. They won't be expecting a result. But for me, the important thing is, just like when they played against Barcelona, is for a good performance. I think the result, yes, it's important in this matchup. It should be the most important thing in every matchup. But when you play against big teams like this, against Barcelona and Madrid, expecting to lose, I think the best thing you can do is put in a good performance. So I just hope for Real Mallorca to put in a good performance. I think everyone hopes for Real Mallorca to put in a good performance. And we've seen Real Mallorca play against Real Madrid before, and they always put up a good fight. And recently, they've only been losing about 1-0 to them every time. Or sometimes even draw. So, you know, Real Mallorca definitely stand a chance up against this Real Madrid side. And with the squad that they've got going on this year, I definitely think Real Mallorca can cause a bit of damage at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. But again, they've started the season off with some of the most complicated teams in the whole league. You know, Barcelona, Real Madrid, even Celta Vigo sitting up there at 7th place. So again, they've started off the league with the strongest parts. But after that, at least they'll be ready and they'll be facing the weaker sides. And hopefully they can rack up as many points as they can. So either way, for me today, it was definitely a positive. You know, good, very, very good performance. The result, unfortunately, it wasn't a win. They did want the win. You could see them going for the win after they got the equalizer. They just couldn't make it work. It's a shame. But 1 point, it's better than 0 points. But either way, very good performance from Real Mallorca, and that's all that matters. But I think, from here on outwards, if Real Mallorca want to compete in Europe, if they want to be up there, up in the top 10 like they have been doing, then in these type of matches, they need to be getting the victories. They can't afford to keep on giving away points, to keep on drawing, stuff like that. But, I think that is in the future, because if you're looking at it from today, again, they've just faced Barcelona, Celta Vigo, and now they're going to face Real Madrid. These are the toughest opponents. So, you can't ask for much from Real Madrid. You can just ask for some good performances, and for me, that's what they've been doing, and they even got a point out here today. So I think fair play to Real Madrid. I definitely think it's been a very good start to the season, despite the results. I am very happy with it. One thing we can also talk about is Kumbula making his starting debut out here today for Real Madrid. Well, making his first debut, his first appearance. He's here on loan from AS Roma to help push Real Madrid on for the season. I think we didn't really get to see much of him because in the second half when he came on, Real Madrid were attacking almost all the time. Again, just didn't get to see much from him. I think it was all right, but we have to really see him more in action to give a proper opinion on him. And I think Mateo Joseph making his starting debut, I think what a player he is. He was very impressive. I think he even got, one foul or two that definitely could have been awarded penalty. He did very good. He's very skillful. He has good touch. He has a good shot. Very, very impressive aim. And if I had to pick, my favorite player in that whole Real Madrid squad out there today, it's a very, very tough decision. I don't even know if I could tell you, because I just think lots of those players out there were very impressive, but it might have to be Pablo Torre. Maybe I'd have to go with him just because he's one of my favorites out there. Again, Mateo Jaume again today, absolutely spectacular. And he even got the equalizer for his team with a lovely finish. But in general, everyone in that Real Madrid squad was looking very impressive. And if we're looking at Celta Vigo's side, I just think that Celta Vigo's side they weren't very dangerous at all. They didn't cause much of a threat. They did have one or two breaks where it looked like they were going to score, but every time they get there, they just seem to mess it up. They seem to get the shot off target or mess it up, but they do go a lot on the break. They get away. It looks like they're about to score, and they mess it up almost every time. But either way, I just think that Celta Vigo didn't look too dangerous. I think they could have been a lot better. And I definitely think that Real Mallorca was the better side. And if I had to pick one of my favorite players in that Celta Vigo squad, I don't even know who I could pick for you, to be honest. I think the goalkeeper was actually very, very impressive. I think he made some very big saves. Just looking at that shot from Pablo Torre, the long shot that was going right into that top corner, he leaped up and made an amazing save. So maybe I'd have to give it to Ralu, the goalkeeper, or Moriba. I think that number 6 in the midfield is also a very impressive player for Celta Vigo. But again, they do have a decent squad. But I just don't think they were very good out there today. But Celta Vigo have proved to be a very good team, qualifying for Europa League. They're going to be playing in it this season, ending 7th last season, They have proved to be a big team. But I just think for now that they've not been too impressive. And they did lose last week out up against Getafe at their own home, which is definitely a match that you want to be winning. But either way, I think the Mallorquinistas will be leaving here fairly happy with the result out here today. And especially with the team's performance. And one thing I do want to say is they did look very compact as a team, that Real Madrid squad. They look like they're getting very comfortable with each other, with each other's play styles. And I'm liking the players that come off the bench, Jacob Arrasate, he just said it in the interview that we gave him, is how important those bench players were when they came off. You could just tell that they brought a lot of energy to the squad. And, looking at the equalizer that they got, the play came from Marc Dominic and from Abdon, and two of those were players that came from off the bench. So the bench players are very, very important players. And I definitely think they're starting to look very united as a team, this Real Mallorca squad. So I hope to see more from it going into the season. But again, next week out, up against Real Madrid, up against one of the biggest teams, you know, I wouldn't expect too much if we're being realistic. I hope for a good performance, but I wouldn't go in with the highest hopes in this matchup. But either way, I know these Real Mallorca fans are going to go and support their team as much as they can. And we have seen Real Mallorca put up very good performances against Real Madrid in the past, so, you know, we'll never know, we'll see. And again, we're just waiting to get the press conference from Jacob Arrasate, so do not go anywhere if you do want to see that. We're going to have it any minute now. It's just taking a bit long, but again, we're going to have it coming up very, very shortly, so do not go anywhere if you want to see that. And I think, you know, for this Celta Vigo, this is a side that play in Europa League. This is a side that competes in European competitions. And today, again, they just didn't look dangerous in the slightest. But fair play for Celta Vigo for putting up a performance and for getting the draw, you know, at the San Martin Stadium at a side like this. It's not exactly easy. It's not something everything can do. We saw it last season, how hard it was to get points at the San Martin Stadium in the first half of the season. In the second half of the season, they started to look a bit more poor. I'm just getting intel right now that we're just waiting to get the press conference from Jacob Arrasate. We're going to be getting it right now. He's actually walking in the room right now. So we're going to go with Jacob Arrasate and we're going to get the press conference now. How do you feel about this point? Are you happy because the match was almost lost? Yeah, I'm pretty happy, you know, because in home you do want to win. And I think we did enough to not lose. But, you know, we also have to value it, what we did, the energy we give, how we ended the match at a very complicated moment. It was very hot. You know, it wasn't easy, and I think the team finished, you know, drawing to Celta. And we were very close to getting the win. So, yeah. Do you think a loss today would have made you very nervous? Oh, yeah, that one goal changed our faces to everyone, you know. It's true. It would have been a very tough loss, and we were very close because there wasn't long left to go. But, yeah, it's a point that gives us energy. We have a lot of energy around at the end. You know, the fans helped us a lot. But, you know, it's what we got to do. We got to keep on working. We have a very complicated calendar. You know, getting that 1 point, the objective was the win, but the point still helps. It's true that, you know, that it is very early. But you, as a spectator, what do you think this team is missing? Well, I think we are missing a few pieces, and we are missing to adjust to certain situations within the team. You know, those hydration pauses, for example. We had chances to get in front. You know, they score a very easy goal right after our hydration break. And in the second half, I think we changed the system, you know, because of that. You know, we had to get used to what we were playing against. We were missing a bit of verticality, and, you know, with that system, what we had was it pushed us forward. It pushed us to play in their half of the pitch more. And we were missing, you know, just a bit of play, just a bit of energy to push us forward, to get on those crosses, you know, to get on those set-piece plays. And then eventually, you know, the goal came. We still have to get a bit better. But, yeah, I still think we're missing a bit of piece to be complete. You're missing 3 players this match out. Do you think that, you know, it really affected you? Yeah, again, that's what I said. We are missing a bit of verticality. We are missing a bit of play. You know, when we're 0-0 and the other team is sitting back, we're missing a certain type of profile of player. You know, there's still some days left to go before the market closes. You know, see, there might be a few plans coming up. We already have a very good squad, but, you know, we might make some changes. Do you think if anyone deserved that goal, it was Mateu Jaume? Yeah, I'd say so, you know. You know, and the other day when Rafinha scored that goal, you know, he was very upset. He worked hard. You know, he loves Mallorca too. I think he's a big role model for these kids and for this island. You know, he took 2 touches and then took the shot. It was a very good goal. I like it when my strikers score, but yeah, if Mateo scores, it's also important too. I wanted to ask you about the double debut from Kumbuya and from Mateo Joseph. What did you think? Mateo, I think he needs to get a bit better at making certain movements, the movements that he can make, and they can give him really good balls. But yeah, I think he gives us that depth, and he did have 1 or 2 chances. And Kumbuya, well, what you guys saw, right? You know, playing on that left side, you know, he's always going to win the headers. He's a very tall player. I think he's going to be a very important player for us. They were talking about playing in these temperatures. What do you think? And how's Pablo Torre? Yeah, it's complicated. It's very hot, you know, at 5 p.m. It's very hot. And the pitch, I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's not very well taken care of at the minute. The conditions, you know, they weren't easy. That's why I'm giving it more value, especially how we ended the match. And Pablo has a little bit of a hit, but the fatigue too also took him out. We only have 1 substitute, so we had to take him out. You talked about Kumula. We saw him in the defensive free out there today. He did some very good minutes. Is he here to stay after the loan? Well, you know, we have to optimize what we have and the resources we have. We already have 4 very good defenders. There's going to be some days where we're going to use Kumbuya. He's also, you know, a starter option. We'll see how he does. For example, today we saw in the second half what we needed, so we brought him on. Today it was good. Yeah, we'll see if we can strategize to use him. I wanted to ask you about Celta's goal. It was a very good goal. But do you think it was a bit of a doubt of Leo Roman for him coming out too early off his line? Or do you think it was a bit of Mojica's fault? Yeah, I think it's an error a bit from everyone, you know. Because we come out good, and then they just catch us on the counterattack. They catch Mojica off guard. You know, I think with Leo, it was a 1v1. Yeah, I think he shouldn't have come off his line, and he wouldn't have as many chances to shoot. But, you know, the error is a mistake from everyone. It's a shame because they weren't creating any danger from us. And, you know, after that goal, you could see that it really took us down. You know, Mark, you put him more as a striker today instead of a winger. You know, for Mark to fight for that ball and getting it and playing that striker, I'm guessing it's not easy. I mean, Mark is a very vertical player. He can move around a lot. When we play different formations, he plays more on the wing. But today, in this situation, we put him at striker, right? We like putting him at striker because he does make very good moments. And I'm very happy today because, you know, he's very quiet and he's just working hard. Today, he made the most of it and he was important to get the draw. In the second half, he made 4 changes. I understand that, you know, one manager makes tactical changes. But do you think making those 4 substitutes, you know, there are 4 different players, do you think it was a mistake? So sometimes it doesn't work, but today it did. You know, we needed energy. You know, in our goal, Abdon has to do with it, and so does Mark. You know, which is a coincidence because they're the players I brought on from the bench. Do you think Jan Salas also helped change the rhythm? He has a lot of energy, you know, and sometimes he struggles to stay still. But in this match, we needed a lot of energy, so he came on very good today. He didn't have it easy, but you know, today Manu Morlanes was gone and Samu Costa is out injured. You know, he works for this. That's what he does. When the market ends, we'll decide what's the best for his future. Is it necessary for Real Mallorca to sign players, especially seeing with Kai Larin's situation? Do you think you need a new striker? Everyone wants to sign good strikers. But, you know, we have a more important problem, which is how to score instead of getting more goals, you know. I think we are missing a bit more up front, but, you know, there's different ways to find to do it. 1 year now since Mark Dominic made his debut. Can you tell me Mark Dominic's evolution as a player? And what do you think he is missing? That's complicated, you know. You know, we're talking about a player that didn't come from the B team, didn't come from anything. We brought him directly from Sanfran. You know, he has moments where he's better, he has moments where he's worse. You know, for me, the evolution was his personal life, you know, because he's a very young kid. As he grows mentally, if he trains good, if he eats good, if he sees his family, I think the rest, he has it, because, you know, he's very fast, he has a lot of goal. Everything else will come on its own. You know, we're working for him so he gets better at these situations. He does have other options, because there's teams that are looking at him, but, you know, we saw today, we can't take our focus off of him. You know, he's been at Mallorca lots of years, and we want to keep him. Those are the awards there from Jacob Arrasate, who, as you can see, many different words from him. Either way, that has been the end of this live stream here at Real Mallorca, drawing 1-1 here at the Son Moix Stadium versus Celta Vigo. A very decent result and a very good performance out here today, but next week is the bigger challenge up against Real Madrid. Either way, thank you so much for joining me out here today at this match's evening. I've been your host. My name's Daniel Elliott Armstrong, and we'll make sure to see you next week, 9:30, next Saturday, up against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu Stadium. It's been a pleasure, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to leave a like and to follow us on our English Twitter page. Thank you so much, and have a good day, everybody.
Gracias a Damián, a Yuk, gracias Sandro por estar con nosotros y a toda la gente que ha pasado por este directo. Muchas gracias, yo un servidor, Lorenzo, gracias. Nos vemos en el próximo partido. Buenas noches, Visco Mallorca y suerte.
Somos el primer estadio residuo cero en España.